bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and pop culture. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, some juicy tea. But also, if you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And we do got a lot of tea to spill today. So I was going to try to come on earlier, but I went and did a long workout at the gym. Also, as I was putting the show together, more stuff was coming in, so it took me literally an hour to get all that stuff in because I was going to come on earlier than 4:30. But we're here, and I'm glad y'all are tuning in. So, yesterday we talked a little bit about Austin Wolf, but I had a follower or watcher sent me some stuff on him, like the full transcript and everything. So we're gonna break that down. Plus, we got to talk about Jay-Z. There's word on the street that Solange is deeply concerned for her sister as she continues to support Jay-Z in his current situation. We got to break down that Diddy Peacock documentary. The trailer premiered yesterday. We're gonna talk about it. I told you I wasn't going to get political, but this story was relatively interesting. And I'm a windmill on the Democrats a little bit because y'all be getting on my damn nerves. But apparently, Democratic strategist James Carville did a recent interview, and he's basically admitting defeat over Kamala Harris losing to Donald Trump and what the Democrats need to do in order to get their message out. And that is reaching out to the podcasters. So we got to get into that. Speaking of podcasters, apparently journalist Elliott Wilson is out here in his damn feelings and is upset because us podcasters, he feels, are taking jobs away from them. But of course, Cameron had to pop off. They're supposed to be on vacation, come back on Monday, but he took time out of his vacation to go in and let have on Elliott, and it was a cackle. We got the clips. We're going to talk about it. Speaking of clips and things, and I'm hoping, I can't wait till this happens. Apparently, word on the curb is that Katt Williams has done a part 2 with Shannon Sharpe. And this seemed like, could you imagine if this is a yearly thing? Like every time in the beginning of January, Katt Williams comes in and does an interview with Shannon Sharpe being the soothsayer. Be like, oh, these are the people that's going to get the reckoning. And then it happens. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, the waiter accused of selling Liam Payne booger sugar has been arrested. Tom Holland is revealing why he refuses to walk the red carpet with his girlfriend Zendaya, and also teased his retirement. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, but I got the full story, so we'll talk about it. Plus, Christina Aguilera is tired of y'all talking about her damn weight and accusing her of using Ozempic. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Britney is weighing in on her ex-husband Sam Asghari's new girlfriend. We got some tea regarding Project Runway, and somebody who was a part of the cast is actually returning, and I'm here for it. Then we got to break down some Drag Race news, including one of the new Drag Race girls, because we're an hour away. I mean, not hour, but a couple of hours away from the season 17 premiere. One of the season 17 queens revealed that she took out a second mortgage to pay for her clothes, pay for the runway outfits, which is freaking crazy if you ask me. But we're gonna break that down. Plus, feel like we did this before, but apparently Pink News put it up, so I was like, let's just do it again. I don't remember if I did it, but I feel a sense of deja vu. So apparently Pink News did a breakdown of all 16 seasons of Drag Race from ranked from worst to best. So we're going to break that down and see if y'all agree. Plus, we got some news about Laverne Cox done quit one job and got her a new one. And some sad news regarding Vanessa Williams. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. So I told her it's an action-packed show. We got a lot to break. We got a lot to talk about. But yes, in the meantime, if you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. And let me hit my banner. I see I have comments. Of course, Robert's in the building. How you doing? Trump is going to be sentenced next Friday by Judge Manchin. No jail, but looks like he's going to be on a 4-year house arrest. That which is This shit is ridiculous. First of all, I already heard Mike Johnson. I watched the live stream. Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, and that's only because after the voting came out the way they did the first time, Trump got on the phone and started his bullying tactic, and people got shook and spooked and nervous. And now we got this old four-eyed asshole as the Speaker of the House again. Because, you know, when you do enough sticking the straw up Trump ass and sucking out the shit from his behind, this is what happens. He makes a phone call, people get spooked, and then things get flipped, and then he gets what he wants. So, but I know that they said JD can do any other travel to represent America and do the job while Trump does his house around. That is so funny because it was like, yeah, he can't go nowhere, he can't do nothing. Your hands is tied because you. And this is what happens when you allow a damn federal criminal to run the country. But it's like it goes to show, you know what? At the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody cares what Trump is done or has done in the past, most of the stuff. And I guess I'll even add that into when I talk about James Carville later, is that at the end of the day, people want to know what you want to do for them. They don't care about y'all sitting here constantly going in on, well, Donald Trump is evil. Donald Trump did this. We know. We don't give a fuck. We just want to know how you going to bring down the prices on, like, when you going to raise the minimum wage for people, because nobody can survive off of a $15 an hour minimum wage, which is what I think it is in New York. I could be wrong. I may have to look that up. But there's other parts of the world, the red states, which I think are really hurting in regards of, you know, how they're trying to survive and pay their bills and be able to have a livable income, especially when you have children. And then there's like the car expenses, and then you have groceries, and you have all these things. And then medical. Don't even get me started on the scam that is the medical industry. We talk about that enough on this show. So, people are just hurting right now, and they don't care about all that. They just want to know how they can get a leg up. Well, one of the answers wasn't going to be by voting in somebody who is all about helping out his 1% friends versus us. Because if you think that Trump is for the people, y'all have been sold a bag of goods. And I love the fact that I'm starting to see now that a lot of people are starting to, the MAGA people, some of them are waking up. But I'm like, where the hell was y'all when we was trying to warn y'all? But look, this is what you voted for. You just want to have to feel the repercussions. Sometimes people need to learn that when there's an action, there is a reaction, and this is what you're going to have to deal with. You voted for them. This is the reaction to your vote. This is what you get when you pay for it. Or what you pull the lever for, because you didn't really pay for it. You know, voting is free, but you know what I mean. It said, and then you said, in the word of another COVID-19. Yep, child. Look, it's funny how all this happens literally around, like, it's all like clockwork when all this stuff goes on. But anyway, let's get into the show. And let's break down this Austin Wolf case. So yesterday we did talk a little bit about, oh wait, I forgot. I always forget to close my YouTube channel because I always have it open for some reason. But anyway, so yesterday we talked a little bit about Austin Wolf and his trial and all other stuff, the latest. You know, they said it was updated on December 26th. However, y'all know, as I've been following this case heavily, that I've been searching. I've been searching. I've been searching. Yeah, I changed it. I remixed it for Beyonce. So I've searched online because I know Pride has really been on it when it comes to the whole case. There was no update regarding what was going on with him. So I think maybe they updated it on the 26th. They just didn't send. They just didn't hit the send button so that way we were able to see it. They probably just put it in there and went on their little holiday vacation. And then when January 2nd came, because it popped up yesterday when I officially went over to the Pride page, because I was checking every day. It wasn't there, but it was there. They posted it 3 hours before I even went live on my show yesterday. So I'm only bringing this up again because I've got more to add to the story. So for the latest, and I believe this is the 6th time they have delayed his trial when he was arrested during Pride weekend, the final Pride weekend in New York in June. So I think it was like June 26th or 27th. I can never remember when, because it fluctuates depending on what day it falls on. In regards to like the last month of June, the last Sunday, that's like main gay Pride weekend in New York. So basically, the update is a federal judge in New York once again granted an additional 30-day continuance in his federal CP case, because I know certain things you can't say on the YouTube because of the algorithm. So we got to abbreviate. But y'all can pretty much figure out what CP stand for. Child rhymes with corn. The new deadline for his preliminary hearing or indictment is January 27th. Now, on Tuesday, Southern District of New York Magistrate Judge Barbara Moses ruled that the extension best serves the ends of justice and outweighs the best interests of the public and the defendant in a speedy trial. This decision marks yet another delay as prosecutors and the defense reportedly continue plea negotiations. Wolf's, whose name is Justin Heath Smith, has been in custody since his June arrest. Now, for those of y'all who need a little reminder, how, because the porn industry and everybody reacted to the news and all the other stuff. We don't need to recap all of that. But in regards to the situation, the original article stated that Justin Heath Smith is being held in the detention. And well, he's being held at the same detention facility down in Brooklyn that I keep telling y'all that Diddy and Luigi Mangione are being held in. So he's being held there because they feel like he's a danger to the public and a flight risk. So that's why he's not being released. He faces several CP charges and has been accused of sending and receiving hundreds of videos of CP, according to a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. Now, court documents from the Southern District of New York allege that Wolf used the messaging app Telegram to share videos with another individual who prosecutors say was an undercover FBI agent. A search conducted in April at Wolf's Manhattan apartment uncovered an SD card containing hundreds of illegal videos, according to prosecutors. The videos reportedly depict minors, including prepubescent children and infants, in explicit situations of the sexual kind. Now, I bring all this up because when I posted the original thing on my live stream, yes, I didn't even post the individual clip, and I was going to do that over the weekend, but someone who happened to be watching the live stream after the fact had sent me a message not even, they commented in the original video, but they also sent me an email. So now my email is available in my YouTube description, like the about me and all the other stuff. So if y'all have any information that you have about a specific topic or whatever the case was, y'all can send it and email it to me anonymous. I won't bring up your name and all this other stuff. So one of the things that I said that I love about this show, because we was talking a little bit about it yesterday in regards of viewers and all the other stuff, and I was just like, look, I'm just here to do the Lord's work. I don't make the news, I just report it. So it's not big on like the numbers, whatever. If whoever watches, you don't, okay, whatever. Like, it's no skin off my nose, but I appreciate everybody who watches. So with this person who sent me, I don't know if you want me to mention your name, but they go by Berman British Cats. Look, everybody's got their aliases. Send me an email and said, hope you are well. Great vid you do. So thank you. I appreciate it. They said, I noticed your comment on Mr. AW and just thought I'd share with you what I found on the case. If the transcript is correct and there's no reason to disbelieve it, this case is much darker than has been reported. I always thought it was odd that he was sent to MDC when cases like Slade Sommer didn't result in detention. From what I can make out, the arrest was urgent and the investigation would have lasted longer. The transcript on court listener explains it all. Whilst I'm not an expert, the case, I think, is being delayed by the government, who may be trying to gain more evidence. Because of that, I'm writing here and not on YouTube comments, as I don't want to prejudice anything and do not understand U.S. law. Basically, they're English. So shout out to my people across the pond. I do know that some of y'all watch, because we do have, fans from across the pond. But I appreciate you sending me the stuff. So they said, if you look up Justin Heath Smith court listener, it will bring up his court papers. Doc 8 was released recently and holds all the details. His partner is mentioned and cleared, and the flight risk doesn't appear to be why he is being held. Payne does not intend where it gets messed up. So he sent me the link. And also said, all the best, Chris. I have a happy new year, and you as well. And basically said that, so they sent me the court documents with the recent update. And I was like, oh, well, as a class, because, we nosy over here, but also at the same time, I want to give y'all the proper information regarding everything. I was like, let's break it on down. But as we do that, I don't know if I want to actually mirror the transcript, but I was like, let's just use one of his little Instagram photos. So, okay. So, yes, I appreciate you for sending me this article. And like I said before, if anybody has information regarding any kind of topic, if y'all got some real juice, send it to me. So On page one, it basically says, like, United States of America, plaintiff Justin Hugh Smith, defendant he's a defendant. The plaintiff is United States of America, the whole country after his behind. So they said this is from June 8th of 2024. Transcript and status. They basically says United States Attorney's Office, Southern District, and basically says, okay, good afternoon, Judge Robert Tarnofsky is now presiding. I don't know if this is the same person that's going to be on this. They said, and basically, in counsel, they said, please make your appearance for the record, government first. Mr. Berger said, good afternoon, Your Honor, Gret Getzel Berger for the government. I'm joined here by FBI Special Agent Matthew Derrigan and our summer law student intern, Rachel Black, phonetic. Mr. Baldassar says, good afternoon, Your Honor. Then Michael Baldassar, Jeff Harwiluk, and Tom Andrikowitz. On behalf of defendant Justin Smith, who is seated to my right, the court, this basically says, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. They said, okay, Mr. Smith, you are here today because you have been charged with certain crimes in a complaint. Actually, we should just start. Can I have the date and time of the arrest? Mr. Berger says, yes, this morning at 8 a.m., so June 28th. AMM Transcription Service says, oh, they got a number up in there. Never mind, we ain't going to read that. So this is the court. Says, okay, and the time of presentment is 3:40. So my name is Magistrate Judge Tarnofsky, and you're here because you've been charged with certain crimes in a complaint. The purpose of the proceeding today is to advise you of certain rights that you have, to inform you of the charges against you, to consider. You have private counsel, so we don't need to consider whether counsel should be appointed, and to decide under what conditions, if any, you should be released pending trial. I'm going to first explain certain constitutional rights that you have. You have the right to remain silent. You are not required to make any statements. Even if you already made statements to the authorities, you don't need to make any more statements. And any statements you make can be used against you. You have the right to be released either conditionally or unconditionally pending trial, unless I find there is no conditions that would reasonably assure your presence at future court appearances and the safety of the community. If you are not a U.S. citizen, you have the right to request a consular official from your country of origin be notified of your arrest. In some in some cases, a treaty or other agreement may require the U.S. government to give the notice, whether you request it or not. And I'm required by law to tell you this, even if you are a U.S. citizen and it doesn't apply to you. You have the right to be represented by a lawyer during all court proceedings, including this one, and during all questioning by the authorities. Okay, so y'all read his rights. Now, can we get to the thing? So it's okay, Mr. Swift, I have in front of me the complaint which contains the charges against you. And the complaint charges in count 1, the receipt and distribution of CP from at least March 24th, 2024, though through at least March 28th, 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. Receiving and distributing CP in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code SS 2252A, and it says 2B, B1, and 2. Count 2, possession of CP from at least on or around March 24, 2024 through at least April 21st, 2024 in the Southern District of New York in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code. Then it also says, they said, counsel, have you received a copy of the complaint? Mr. Baldassar says, yes, Judge. The court basically said, and have you reviewed it with your client? Mr. Baldassar says, we have, Your Honor. The court basically says, okay, Mr. Smith, you have a right to a preliminary hearing. And at the preliminary hearing, the government would have the burden of establishing that there is probable cause to believe that the crime for which you are being charged was committed and that you are the person who committed the crime. You or your lawyer should be entitled to cross-examine any witness and introduce evidence. If you're in custody, you have a right to the preliminary hearing within 14 days. If you're out of custody, you have the right to have the preliminary hearing within 21 days. But a preliminary hearing won't be held if before the date it is supposed to happen. You're indicted by the grand jury, or the government files a document against you called an information. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing date at the conclusion of the proceeding. Well, back this was June, so they done changed it so many damn times. But since they was talking about what is it, page, I want to say like where they said was the where it gets spicy. Okay, so it says, so I'm sure are aware that you can't seek detention based on danger only, that what provision of 18 USC 3142 provides the authority for holding a detention hearing. But I think then they say, I think it was what, page 8 and 9. Let's skip to that and see what they say with that. Because I'm like, I don't want to sit and go through this whole thing. Okay, so now the judge basically says, Samantha Smith, in this case, is called a presumption case. The government has asked that you be detained. The government is entitled to make this request because of the nature of the charges against you. You have been charged with a violation of crimes involving minor children, so I am granting the request for a detention hearing. I now have to determine whether there is any condition or combination of conditions of release that would protect the safety of the community and reasonably assure your appearance at trial. And making this determination, I have to consider several factors: the nature and circumstance of the charged offense, including whether the crime involves a minor victim, the weight of the evidence against you, your personal history and characteristics, including your character, family ties, financial resources, community ties, past conduct, criminal history, and whether you were on probation or parole at the time you allegedly committed this crime. I also have to consider the nature and the seriousness of the danger to anyone or in the community that would be posed by your release. This is a presumption case, and so because you are accused of one of several specific crimes, there is a presumption that no conditions of release will reasonably ensure the safety of the community. However, the presumption is rebuttable, and the government ultimately bears the burden of establishing by clear and convincing evidence that you're a danger to the community, or establishing by a preponderance of the evidence that you are a risk of flight. I will now hear from counsel, starting with the government. Please tell why you believe detention is warranted in this case. And Mr. Berger says, thank you, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of having sent, received, and possessed hundreds of videos of CP. These videos show young children being R-worded, but that's not only the beginning. But that's only the beginning, sorry. There's also overwhelming evidence that he's a hands-on predator. So far, the FBI have been able to access the defendant's messages for only 4 months. And hold on, as we skip the next page, through April of 2024. But the messages show that in those 4 months alone, the defendant had sex had relations with several 15-year-olds, try to have relations with younger children, including 12 and 14-year-olds, and made plans to meet with a man who would make a 7-year-old child available to the defendant for relations for the R word. I won't repeat everything we said in our papers, but I'll briefly touch upon both the charged conduct and the uncharged conduct. But the key point that I want to convey is that the defendant's conduct is recent, it's prolific, it involves action, not just talk or videos, and most of it happened from the comfort of his own home. I am gagging over this. See, this is where they said it was going to get spicy. This is page 8, by the way. So, trigger warning. Maybe I should have said that earlier. But when anything that has to do with CP, y'all know it's not going to be pretty or comfortable. Now, starting with the charged conduct, possession, and distribution of CP, the reason I'm starting here is because it's important not to lose sight of the seriousness of the charged conduct, even setting aside the even more serious charged conduct. This is not a case where someone sat passively at a computer screen and watched an image or video containing CP. The defendant actively sent, solicited, received, and sorted hundreds of these videos. These videos involved children as young as infants, and there were violent videos, nightmarish videos. We included descriptions of 2 of the 3 videos in our submission, and I won't repeat them. But one of them shows a 10-year-old tied up, beaten, and R-word, and the other one shows an infant being violently R-worded. Every time the defendant shared one of these videos, he re-victimized one of these R-worded children. Child, So now I'm getting pissed. That's why I'm slipping because I'm like, this man is disgusting. Throw him under the goddamn jail based off of all this transcript. This is transcript stuff that was put in the courts. So this is not alleged. It's not made up. This is stuff that they've seen with their own eyes that has been transcripted before a judge, or transcribed, I should say. Okay, let's get back to this foolishness because, if I ever saw that man, I knew there was always something about Austin Wolf I didn't like, and I'm so glad that the itch has hit the fan when it came to him. I never liked him. It was always something about his energy whenever we cross paths. And good to know that this spirit, my inner gut is always never steers me wrong. But anyway, let's get back to this. Where did I leave off? Oh, okay. So it's also important to focus on the weight of the evidence on the charged conduct. There can be virtually no doubt that the defendant was the user of the Anon Telegram account that sent and received these videos. And again, I won't repeat everything in our submission, but suffice it to say that when the FBI seized his phone and sent a message to the Anon Telegram account, a pop-up notification appeared on his phone. That's the charged conduct. Basically saying he was the ringleader behind that whole damn page. He was out there soliciting and exchanging CP content on Telegram. So they said, but turning to the uncharged conduct, and in our written submission, we laid out the legal authority for considering uncharged conduct in this context. Our letter had just a preview of some of these messages found on the defendant's phone. But that preview, which again spanned a short snippet of time, 4 months, shows that the defendant is a prolific hands-on offender. He appears to have had relations with a 15-year-old several times, including a threesome, with another adult man that the defendant recorded. He appears to have had relations with at least one other 15-year-old. He asked the third 15-year-old to produce CP for him, which the minor did and sent it to the defendant. He asked the 14-year-old to send him pictures of his 10-year-old sibling. He tried to meet up with the 12-year-old during his travels in Florida. Of course, it's fucking Florida. And appears to have exchanged adult visual stuff with the 12-year-old, rhymes with corn. I always got to get creative around these damn algorithms. I'm not a professional tap dancer, but I spend more time tap dancing around these damn algorithms with social media than anything. But anyway, let's get back to this because I'm disgusted reading this. But thank you, watcher, for sending it to me because I wasn't a privy to all the details. So anyway, okay, so let's get back to it. So, and most disturbingly, he made concrete plans to have relations with a 7-year-old child, including discussions with the child's father about booking an Airbnb and about the child getting some sort of doll. Okay, so now the parents was okay with this? The fact that we have something, and y'all be worrying about immigrants and all this other stuff going out there, and they be doing that in these lower income countries, like these underprivileged, but he's doing this shit in the United States. So you have parents out here pouring out their damn children for whatever that they're going to get out of it. Like, are you kidding me? That you would be okay as a parent having your 7-year-old hooking up with a 43-year-old 6'4" white man and putting together a damn Airbnb, and you going the prize is the child gets a damn doll. They said he even invited others, including an undercover FBI agent, to join in. So that's how they got his ass, because you sitting out here thinking that it was just some regular dude, but it was the FBI was watching your behind from the beginning. And this is how y'all always slip up. Y'all be doing this crazy stuff because y'all get so caught up in your little fetishization. And this is why a lot of people were saying from the beginning about Austin nasty ass, that if you watch his damn content, he was always, a lot of the male models that he was always hooking up with, always skewered like they had the appearance that they look younger. So that was a little loophole. As long as he can get around to doing things in them barely legals, and y'all was getting off on it, y'all excuse the behavior. Not realizing that there was another side to him, that he was literally out here sticking his 4-inch pecker, because it definitely looked like a 4-inch compared to his height, in little kids, because they don't know the damn difference. When you got some ginormous man with a baby dick going up in your behind, you ain't gonna know the difference. I mean, that's the one time somebody ain't gonna have to, cackling his damn face over his under endowment. So I can see why he was always going for the young ones. The young ones don't know no damn better. So they also said, okay, so were it not for the FBI executing a search warrant at his house on Sunday before that was about to happen, he may well have gone through with it. So the FBI agent thwarted him hunching a damn 7-year-old, getting on a plane to go to Florida to go screw some 7-year-old. So that's how they got him. Because he was trying to bring an FBI agent in on to do a threesome. Because you thinking with your baby dick instead of the little head down in between me down there instead of the big one up on in between your damn shoulders. So it says, Your Honor, this conduct leads to only one conclusion, that the defendant is a danger to children. He's a danger to children online. He's a danger to children offline. He's a danger to children anywhere. And I want to address head on. Hold on, because it goes to the next page and it cuts off the defendant's argument for home detention. Home detention will not keep the community safe because that's exactly where the defendant committed this conduct. That's where he kept and shared his CP. That's where he hosted minors for relations. And that's where he even had the built-in cameras that recorded one of the sessions. Simply put, he doesn't have to be outside the house to be in danger. And as we said in our submission, because of his high profile, he doesn't have to chase after CP or child S abuse. It can come to him, including, for example, the episode of the father and 7-year-old child. That's why confining him to his house does not lessen the danger in any meaningful sense. And for the same reason, restrictions on electronic communications will not only protect the community, the defendant is clearly a sophisticated operator. He's very familiar with the tools that can be used to avoid detection. For example, he used platforms like Telegram, which are not amenable to legal process. He used anonymous accounts to hide his identity. He sent disappearing messages when he was discussing his illegal activities. And importantly, he deleted his Telegram and Telegram account history when he found out that the FBI was investigating him. And on the topic of electronic activity, I think everyone in this room will agree, as we said in your submission, that pretrial services does a heroic job of monitoring online activity, and they're not superhuman. And neither is the FBI. At the end of the day, nothing can prevent the defendant from getting a new phone, setting up another anonymous account, and picking up right where he left off, which is sharing CP and preying on children. Only detention can ensure the safety of this community. And on that note, that's where I'm going to leave it. And in regards to Austin Wolf, leave his ass in the jail. He better be glad that he ain't under the damn jail. He must be in solitary confinement, because when it comes to child S abuse, that a lot of them inmates, they don't like that. And if they find out his little nasty behind, you talking about nasty conditions and you worrying about his safety and all that, fuck him. If they gutted his ass, I wouldn't feel no ways tired, because I can't stand a damn child molester. I can't stand a child molester. I can't stand no PDF file. I can't stand anybody that harms children. That is the one thing. That is like, if you really want me to go off and knock the shit out of you, let me find out that you did some shit like that. So I'm very much big on when it comes to child abuse and all that other stuff. I don't like that at all. So that's the latest. I was like, I didn't know. I was not aware of all those details when it came to that. So I'm actually gagging still over that. So Berman British Cats, I want to sincerely thank you for sending me all of that information. And damn, I really wish that, I just used that thing, but I don't know if in that article, because I only read up to where it was all the details. So when you said Justin Heath Smith court listener, it brings up the court papers. Well, I did read the 8-part. I don't think I didn't see the part where it said his partner is mentioned and cleared. But it was like page 9 and 10. We read all of those, and that was a mess. So I say all this to say, now that y'all got all the details, all of the stuff that going on in that case. Now I want to hear from some of you people out here that's still looking the other way and feel no ways tired and have no problems with also, well, y'all didn't let him go, and I like his content. Well, I'm gonna start looking at you bitches sideways if that's how y'all feel about the whole situation. If y'all sitting out here still defending him after what I read y'all, I'm going to start side-eyeing you bitches with that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to the latest on the whole Austin Wolf case? As I read y'all the full, well, now I ain't reading the full transcript, but I read y'all just enough so y'all had the meat and potatoes in regards of why he is being held behind bars and they let his behind out. Because I feel like they trying to gather, in a way I do believe that they're probably trying to gather more evidence because it's like they got some stuff on him, but with the gathering more evidence, it's like, oh yes, sir, you ain't getting out. You, Diddy, or Luigi, y'all ain't getting out. Although there was a psychic that said that they believe that Luigi will serve some time, but he won't be in jail forever. That he will actually get out of jail, which I was gagging over that. I'm like, okay, psychic, I hope you correct. But yeah, so that's the latest on that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was like, I know that was a long one, but I was like, child, we had to break all that down. Robert says podcasts are extremely important because that's the new media, and it's important to do 3 to 5 hours of interviews, not just 15 minutes. And look, this is why I said, like, people, when we get into the story later on, this is why a lot of these journalists and these other people don't really get it, and they'll continue to fail at this situation because it's like, y'all had y'all opportunity to sit up out here and really give people the news and all this other stuff. Y'all didn't want to do that. So now y'all getting mad because you have podcasters and people like us that are out here really bringing y'all the information, but because y'all are being, independent media, and then you have these corporate, mascots that sit up in here and just, with a hand up your ass, like a puppeteer, just spewing crap that you read like a damn drone, or a zoned out zombie reading off a damn teleprompter what you're being spoon fed by some damn writers who have one objective, and that's spewing propaganda. And y'all are getting mad. Oh, you're trying to take shifts away from, you're taking my job away. No, you suck at your job. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, you can go to school and be a journalist, but that don't mean that you're better than the people out here who actually have the talent to bring people the information. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out here. What is his name? Luke Beasley? I don't think does he have a journalism degree? He's given way more information regarding the politics than a lot of you people over on MSNBC and CNN. Also, Kyle Kalinske. He's another one who's really out here not beholden to these corporate cannibals and spewing propaganda. You got Don Lemon, got his black ass got fired from CNN. He's still out here spewing propaganda. Motherfucker, your ass is independent. You are up on YouTube with your own show, but you still spewing propaganda. I saw this recent video, shout out to Lady Bunny, that she posted where Don Lemon was on the street trying to talk to this black dude who gooped me and him because he was smarter than Don Lemon. He was trying to get him so bad. The man speak, and first of all, shout out to him. I got moist when I found out that he spoke 8 languages. I was like, oh, I live for somebody that's smart. And on top of that, he was up in there being like, because he was like, oh, President Elon. It was like Don Lemon's so happy he's got this little thing now that he could just like do all that stupid shit on. And I'm sitting there rolling my eyes at this thing, and he's sitting up in there talking about, oh yeah, President Elon, how do you think about people going, and you need to Google it. And he was like, okay, just because people are saying the stuff and all these other things that's going on doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And Don hated the fact that he was being gooped and gagged, so he was trying to continue to spew this propaganda. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, if you don't get your ass off my damn screen. And this is why y'all want to continue to lose. But anyway, you said hopefully we find out why the delays are happening. Well, I guess that's one of the main reasons. When you hear all that stuff I just read, it's like, yeah, they delaying it because his ass ain't getting out of prison. And you said pride isn't really be honest. I fucking knew it. We're not getting the full. So yeah, and that's why I was like, you know what? Shout out to the people that was out there that watched the videos, like, you know what? And sent me the information. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna give the full story. So I'm gonna give y'all the full tea. Y'all keep talking about, oh, it was delayed, oh, it was delayed, oh, it was delayed. And they gave this little Disney-fied version of the charges. Child, I read when did y'all gag like I did when I read y'all all that stuff that he was allegedly out here doing? I mean, can we even call it alleged if it's like freaking it transcribed as this is what we found when we've been investigating him by the Federal Bureau of Investigations? He sure did, because you was out here fetishizing children, and I wonder where all that kicked off from. Like, I wonder, like, was that always in? See, this is me in my analyzing mode, and because I like to watch stuff on predators and serial killers. Like, I sit and I watch all that stuff, and I be wanting to know. I think that's probably the actor in me when I was studying acting, because it's like breaking down, it's like, why does this person act this way? Or what made them become this way? Were you always like this? Was this like something that happened to you when you were a kid and you just passed that on? Because, when you abuser of some kind, you've either been abused or that stuff, sometimes it's in you too. So I'm genuinely curious in regards to, like, okay, so where did that come from? Or was it, this is another thing that I was thinking with Austin Wolf. Did he develop that behavior because as a content creator, he realized that he had an audience that was liking seeing this 6'4" muscular white dude towering and overpowering someone that looks like they're barely legal, or he's twice the size of the guys that he's topping. So that's like a fantasy, and he got so caught up in it that he's like, you know what, I'm kind of getting, I'm making all this money, I'm successful. And you know how, like, when it comes to the celebrities, like, when we talk about Diddy and stuff, oh, I'm bored. So I've been there, done that. I need to do something that's so heinous that is really going to get me a situation where I'm like, Chad, you ain't never seen an episode of Law and Order SVU? That show been on for like damn near 20, well, it has been on for 25 years. So I'm like, have you never watched the episode of Law and Order SVU? And then when they have those CP rings and all the other stuff that was going on, like, I've seen enough episodes to know how all this is ending. And he ain't getting out of jail. But he is a damn waste. He was a waste before he started hunching children, allegedly. Well, it's not even alleged. I don't know why I guess maybe the legal side, I just be alleging everything, but it's like, he did it. I hate how the community will still post and spread his, yeah, don't even get me started on that mess. That man is disgusting, but I can't help wondering where things like this begin. It's funny. I'm going to not even read your comment, and you was thinking the same thing. It's like, yeah, I do. Look, we was wondering the same thing. I was like, was he touched? If not, what sent him? Yeah, that's why I want to know. What sent him down this dark path of debauchery? And he said, I have never sat through an entire podcast, not even Bob. Really? Well, look, I appreciate that you sit through mine. You was like, I've never sat through an entire podcast, not even Bob and Monet. Well, I do appreciate that, that there are people out here that will actually take the time to sit through all the hours that I put into running my mouth on this damn show. He probably was, hey, Sailor Mermaid said he probably was molested, but never healed from it. Hurt people, still a trash person. What a waste. And you say, yes, please continue to say alleged. If he gets off on a technicality, he will sure be coming after. Well, you know what? On that note, allegedly. And you said, and the audience and like that likes his content is suspicious and fishy too. It's sick. And that's why I said, if you still going to sit out here and windmill and defend his bullshit after all of this stuff, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to sit up here and curb my mouth no more with the cussing. Because I've been seeing other podcasters that get twice the viewers that sit up here and curse and nothing happens to them. So I'm going to still say, shit, damn, motherfucker, son of a bitch, cunt, dick, all that stuff. I ain't changing. But nobody. Not in 2025. Greater minds, as I like to say. But yeah, I'm still gagging over that. I was like, ooh, I got the transcript. Because, we nosy over here. But anyway, child, let's go from one alleged skeevy person to another. Let's talk about Jay-Z. Who, there might be some good news coming on his end. Because apparently his attorney, Alex Spiro, basically is, I should say Annalisa Torres, the judge, yesterday, which was Thursday, granted a request made by the legal team of the 55-year-old rapper whose name is Sean Carter, to enter a dismissal motion in his case, the SA case, because, he's been trying to find out who this person is that's been accusing him. And let's put up this wannabe Jean-Michel Basquiat picture. Child, I really can somebody take a chainsaw to that hair? I ain't never seen nobody hair look so nasty in my life. Like, I don't know why. I guess because he said his kids told him, oh, you look good with it. I'm like, are they blind too? Kind of like, Beyonce out here singing Jolene. I do think that maybe there's some type of RuPaul's Drag Race season 1 Vaseline on the lens type situation where y'all not seeing what we seeing. Or is it like that? Remember that episode of it wasn't Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was Angel. And they had Gina Torres on there. And I love me some Gina Torres, who was like the most beautiful thing in the world. And then I can't remember who it was. Was it Fred? And they started to see what she looked like. This thing with all these worms coming out of their face. So she wasn't as pretty as they, I think maybe that's what's going on in the Carter Knowles household. Y'all seeing something we ain't seeing. But anyway, so they said Carter's request to file a motion to dismiss plaintiff amended complaint is granted. This is what Torres wrote in court documents posted by law journalist Megan Cuniff on Twitter. Now, Tony Busby, the lawyer representing the rapper's accuser, who identifies herself as Jane Doe in court documents, issued a December 31st response objecting to the request, which is due to the court on February 6th. The court stated that Jay-Z's accuser has until February 28th to file her opposition papers, leaving Jay-Z and his team until March 14th to file his reply, if any. Now, Cuniff noted that judges deciding dismissal motions are to assume the facts alleged are true, and that the arguments are about legal issues such as statute of limitations, etc. Now, Torres requires lawyers to seek the permission of the court prior to entering a motion filing, and this is according to Cuniff. Now, in court documents filed on December 30th by Jay-Z's legal team, led by attorney Alex Spiro, attorneys said that Jay-Z sent the plaintiff a message on December 19th, flagging a number of issues they felt spurred a dismissal of the case, citing a combo of technicalities, expired deadlines, and the locations involved. Jay-Z's legal team said that his accuser was required but failed to address the issues specified in the letter within a period of 5 business days, a time frame which concluded December 27th. Now, Spiro and Busby, who are representing the woman who says she was R-worded by Jay-Z and the diddler, both 55, when she was 13, glossed over critical details that nullify the case, according to TMZ. They reported on Monday after reviewing legal documents. Now, Jay-Z's accuser said that she was assaulted by the rapper Ann Combs at the VMAs after party in September of 2000. I almost said 2020, yeah. But it was like, what was it? 2000, 24 years ago, 25? No, it's because they said December 2000. So that would be, I guess like 25 years ago, give or take. The GMB law was not enacted until December 19, 2000, 3 months after Jay-Z's accuser claimed that conduct occurred and cannot apply retroactively to create a cause of action unavailable to plaintiff at the time in question, Jay-Z's lawyer said in December 30th filing. They added that a contrary conclusion would violate both state and federal due process protections. Now, I guess this is Jay-Z's attorney, because that ain't Tony Busby. But that's Alex Spiro. He looks young. So now Jane Doe said in her legal filing that she was living in Rochester in 2000 when she made her way to New York and befriended a limousine driver who drove her to the party in a trek that took about 20 minutes. Now, here's the thing. Who is this limousine driver? And that ain't still alive, because how you 13 years old and you schmoozing your way to a limousine driver who drove you to the party? Basically, it said it took about 20 minutes for her to get there. And now, basically, Jay-Z's attorney basically said that the accuser has to prove that the alleged crimes were committed within New York City, citing these case law precedents, including the 1999 lawsuit filed by the late Nicole Bass against the WWE. The woman also said in her legal filing that she was living in Rochester when she made her way. Okay, I already said that already. Now, Spiro said in court documents that the lawsuit was filed outside the statute of limitations, as any legal claims about the alleged assault eclipsed an August 2021 deadline under New York's Child Victims Act. But I could have sworn that, isn't there a law that says that you have until 55 that you could charge your suit? I mean, you can file against any crimes committed by any kind of child SA. I could have sworn they upped up the number to 55. So now Busby told TMZ in a statement on Monday, these are technical arguments being made, and the law is clearly on our side and side of alleged victims. The law is well settled, and we are correct. Now, in a response letter dated December 31st, Busby said that neither the Second Circuit nor the New York Court of Appeals has endorsed the reading of the Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. Excuse me. The attorney added that Jay-Z's team argument as to the issue involving the act is unpersuasive, as it's a contrary to the law's primary intention to make it easier for victims of gender-motivated violence to seek civil remedies in court, not as defendant would have it make it harder. Now, Busby cited as the precedent in 2022 case against actor Cuba Gooding Jr., in which the same court found that local anti-discrimination laws are generally not preempted by the state law in New York. Busby said that the court had also rejected the very same argument in a separate case this past September. Now, in regard to the claim on location, Busby said that Jay-Z's team is relying on evidence outside of the pleadings as discovery is not yet underway. Now, Busby said that claims in the motion from Jay-Z's lawyers are procedurally improper and should be denied. Busby subsequently told DailyMail.com on Monday that Mr. Spiro likes to send a lot of letters. I don't think any of them merit comment. Okay. Now, the latest attempt to have the case drop comes less than a week after the judge ruled Thursday that Jay-Z's accuser can proceed anonymously for now in her lawsuit against the rap moguls. And that's both because, we said Diddy and Jay-Z. But look, as I was saying before, if she granted a request made by Jay-Z's legal team to enter a dismissal motion, and all the Jane Doe has to do is go against the motion because they're gathering up whatever evidence that they may have or whatever the case is, I guess this is going to be like I always say, pickleball match. We're going to be going back and forth, seeing who does what and what happens. And Jay-Z's really trying to make this go away. And I'm sure it is putting a strain on his marriage, to Beyonce. And we're going to get into the story allegedly about Solange basically trying to say that Beyonce is so deep within that cult of a marriage. And she's trying to get her sister out of the situation. What y'all thinking? Like this some type of Handmaid's Tale type of situation that she's in with Jay-Z? But anyway, so that's the latest. I will definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. But in the meantime, what do y'all think of this story regarding Jay-Z allegedly being one step closer to having this case thrown out? This is the latest tactic, and we'll see if they manage to go through when the time comes for the Jane Doe to come with her rebuttal against what they're trying to pull with this situation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Onyx says, I'm just curious. I want to know who the female celeb that was Child, we all trying to figure that out. I remember at one point somebody was trying to say it was Hannaford. I was like, I don't know if it was her. I don't think, first of all, I do not see Hannaford Lopez. Like, I believe that she will do whatever she got to do to get her career where it need to go, but I don't think she would go there that far. But then again, when it comes to these celebrities, you'd be surprised what these people are capable of doing in order to achieve the A-list success that they so desperately crave. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm definitely curious to find out who that A-lister is, and if in this upcoming documentary on the Diddler, if we'll actually find out if they even bring that up. But we're going to talk about that later on in the show. We get to that topic. It's like, my sinuses is working my root canal nerve today. Because I was like, I think I'm getting a cold. But anyway, speaking of which, let's get into this, more Jay-Z news. Because apparently, Solange, Beyonce's younger sister, is fearing that her sister's career and well-being could suffer if she continues to stand by her man, Jay-Z Sean Carter, Sean Carter Z. That's what I was trying to say, but I messed that up. But whatever, we live. It is what it is. So, according to the Daily Mail, they said Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is currently locked in a legal fight against a woman who accused him of R-wording her when she was 13. So, we did do a previous story on the show that Beyonce is allegedly been left upset and concerned by the fact that this case has yet to be thrown out. That this is because y'all already know Beyonce loves to have a certain narrative regarding her private life. She has managed to keep her life under wraps. We don't really know much about what's going on in her situation except for the tea that she spilled on the Lemonade album. And remember that infamous incident of Solange in the elevator with Jay-Z, as y'all can see in this picture right here. But I actually think I have yeah, there it is. I was like, I know I had the picture in here because there's always a method to my madness when I'm going to be talking about certain situations. So clearly, based off of some whatever happened in that elevator, Solange has never taken too kindly to Jay-Z. But as has been said on this show many a times, I don't know if Beyonce will ever leave Jay-Z because I feel like their money and everything else that's going on up in their careers and stuff is too tied up in this situation that I can't see her ever leaving him. So it'd be the legal battle of the century when it comes down to the whole thing. But don't stay with no man for the sake of the kids, because we all know that don't work. And clearly, if Tina knew to get out of that relationship with Matthew, Beyonce, you could do the same when it comes to Jay-Z. But then again, Matthew don't have Jay-Z kind of money, and power and influence. So that situation could be totally different. But then again, these beehives ain't gonna sit up out here and let Jay-Z do to her and get away with it, or try to do any kind of harm to Beyonce and get away with it. But then again, you have to think, like, are the Beehive as potent and and as protective as the Swifties or any of these other, what do you call it? These stan groups or whatever. So now a source close to Solange, who's 38, by the way, they love putting the age on a woman in here. We always talk about that in the show. Why y'all always gotta put an age next to the woman name? But y'all don't do that to the men, and I have been noticing that. Although y'all have been doing that when it comes to Jay-Z recently. I guess maybe it's when it comes to the women, it's an ageist thing. And I guess when it comes to men of a certain age, it's an ageist thing too. So maybe it's an all around ageism. But anyway, let's get to the thing. So it said a source close to Solange has exclusively revealed that the hitmaker's younger sister has been left fearing that there could be no coming back if Beyonce continues to support the father of her 3 children. In fact, the insider claims that Solange has long been vocal about her distaste for the rap star after he was caught being unfaithful to his wife. Y'all remember Lemonade, as we talked about earlier? Solange told Beyonce she warned her a decade ago, and she wouldn't listen. Oh, Virgos could definitely be hard-headed. So I believe that. Well, especially when you in love, or as in Beyonce's case, drunk in love. I live for a pun. Now, back in 2014, footage emerged, as y'all know, of Solange attacking Jay-Z in the elevator in what remains one of the most shocking and iconic, I will say, celebrity fights ever captured on camera. CCTV video bought up at the time, of course, by TMDMZ, because they love buying shit. But they said TMZ spent $250,000, $250,000 for the damn video footage. But I've been saying for years TMZ stay buying stuff. That's how they want to call it an exclusive. No, you went and dug into the biggie bank to get these exclusives. You having to pay for it. Child, I'm gonna put it up here for free. But anyway, so they said they paid for $250,000 that showed Beyonce along with her sister and Jay-Z piling into an elevator as they leave a Met Gala after party at the Standard High Line Hotel in Manhattan. But before the doors even fully closed, Solange jabbed her finger towards Jay-Z and appeared to start shouting angrily before throwing herself towards him, hitting and kicking the rapper. The large security guard eventually managed to restrain Solange and pull her off Jay-Z, but was able to stop her furiously kicking out at the rap star. At no obvious moment in the 58-second assault does Jay-Z retaliate, only grabbing Solange's foot at one point in an apparent attempt to stop her kicking. Now, despite the family rift and following the notorious elevator incident, and the fact that all three parties then called the truce, probably in the eyes of the public, but I'm sure behind the scenes, Solange still kind of giving that, I still don't like that knuckle. I still don't like his ugly ass. But if you gonna stand by your man and you gonna support him, then I'ma just look the other way. But sis, just know I don't like your damn husband. That's what Solange be giving me. So now they said despite Solange is said to be deeply concerned not only for her sister's well-being, but for her career. The insider claimed that the Cranes in the Sky singer believes if Jay-Z is brought down, it will affect Beyonce on so many levels that there could be no coming back if she continues to support him. The source noted that Beyonce is putting on a strong, united front with Jay-Z, but she's getting immense pressure from her sister, who's telling her, I told you so. Now, they also said the Daily Mail has contacted reps for Solange for comment, and she has not responded. So this kind of makes me wonder. Look, Beyonce done put out in that damn song that and guess if he step out on her, look, I can't remember the lyrics word for word, but y'all know the song when she was talking about, look, if you step out and cheat on me again, you're gonna lose your wife. So in so many ways, she already gave him the warning. I don't know if he's cheated ever since, because Beyonce is all about perception and how people perceive her and all that other stuff in the eye of the public, which is why she keeps things under wraps and will only let y'all know what's the tea when she wants to put it in her music with, the laundry list of writers camps that she uses to write her songs, or whatever the case is. And Solange is like, you know what? I can only go do but so much in a situation. But now that this stuff is coming out, whether it's true or not, now allegedly she's out here saying that, you know what? I tried to tell you, but you were so blinded. You looking the other way, and then also I guess maybe we have to look at it as that Beyonce has a lot to lose in regards to this. Not only are we looking at it from the career standpoint, but we also got to look at it, like I said before, with her how much of her money is tied up and connected to a lot of her endeavors with Jay-Z, who I believe in so many ways, because of his finger on the pulse of hip hop and him being in the top 5, or should we say Mount Rushmore, because whenever there's a conversation that comes out in hip hop circles, they always talk about who is the greatest rappers of all time, and Jay-Z is always one of the names that's mentioned within the top 5 of greatest rappers. When they say Mount Rushmore, there's usually 4 heads up there, but I like to put 5 because you got to have your top 5 Mount Rushmore, even though, like I said, technically it's only 4 they got up on that mountain. 4 heads. But in my head, I do 5. But anyway, so when it comes down to it, he is one of those people that has a finger on the pulse. And, with Beyonce trying to differentiate herself from being like that R&B Southern girl, whatever, with Destiny's Child, R&B pop, MTV, whatever, she had to get a little bit of that hood sensibility. So her linking up with Jay-Z definitely gave her cachet in that department. But at what cost, though? So she is one of the biggest stars on the planet. I'm not trying to discredit her talent, because she definitely has that. But everybody who gets in this industry needs help getting to where, if they want to go from point A to point B. And Jay-Z has definitely, in so many ways, helped her get there based off of his influence, his power, and of course, his talent of being like one of the greatest rappers. And we already know the jealous streak, allegedly, when, it was like, oh, you had certain artists who were other rappers outside of Jay-Z who performed with her, and how Jay-Z was coming across with getting very possessive. So that also makes me kind of look at it in that way. Also, me thinking back on those prior interviews that are recent, actually. This is not stuff that was said 10 years ago. This is stuff that was said like maybe a year or 2 ago, where Sean Paul has alluded to certain things about why he and, I believe, he and Beyonce filmed Baby Boy separately. And then how there was certain artists that were on set with Beyonce where they was told not to be looking at her if she was dressed, because in the music videos you dress provocatively for the sake of the visual. And the guys sitting there licking their lips and lusting. Men can look, but as long as they're not putting their hands on her, what you getting jealous for? Which to me makes me think about why that may have been the reason why Jay-Z cheated. And I know y'all probably don't want to hear it, but this is called Chris Avalon Unfiltered. When you look at a Jay-Z, someone who was able to bag a Beyonce, and you see how Jay-Z looks aesthetically in that face, a lot of times when you get those men that are not conventionally attractive, that get with beautiful women, they think a lot of times in their mind the insecurity kicks in and they feel like they're not worthy of getting in a relationship with that person. So they sit, the insecurity starts to rile up, and then they realize it's like, I don't feel like I'm worthy of you. So let me go out and then the self-sabotage kicks in. So I think that's what that was. Because look, how many times Halle Berry been cheated on? How many times some of these other people that y'all see as the most beautiful person in the world, y'all be like, they're so gorgeous. Why they get cheated on? That'd be one of the reasons. Because a lot of these men out here, they feel like they measure up to these people that society, when they start all that, oh, you're the most beautiful person in the world, and so on and so forth, men start to feel the way. And I feel like Jay-Z probably was feeling the way. And that's why he cheated on her. But they allegedly managed to make it work out. But at the end of the day, marriages, they ain't always gonna last forever. But if your sister allegedly is feeling a way of like, you know what, I am the one that's really out here worried and you're gonna be your protector, then if this all turns out to be true, Beyonce, I know you all caught up in the you got the rose-colored glasses on, and you got the blinders on, and you need to show a united front. But if Solange is out here seriously looking out for you, then maybe you need to listen to your sister. Because I don't think she would do that I don't think she's a hater or trying to destroy your own thing. Because here's the thing. The one thing I've always loved about Solange is that she was able to go out and do her own thing and be like this artsy type of musician, whereas Beyonce had to stay within the lines of being the big pop star. And Solange was able to go off and kind of do her little artistic thing. And no shade, but I tend to like Solange music more than I like her sisters, because I kind of like when people do their little unconventional, outside the box type of stuff. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe this story that's coming out regarding that Solange is, out here trying to protect her sister and worrying about that, everything that she's built, Beyonce, the whole empire, the whole Bay Empire may come crumbling down if she continues to stand by Jay-Z and all these shenanigans that he's getting caught up in? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Sailor Member says, I still think Jay-Z isn't innocent. May not from this story, but perhaps something. Yeah, look. I don't put none past any of these damn celebrities and what they could be capable of. So maybe he didn't do this incident, but look, excuse me, people was bringing up alleged stories about him with young girls like Foxy Brown, and remember that iconic story that's been floating around for years. Foxy tried to debunk it, but nobody believed her. She's kept her private life ever since the elevator incident. That's the day she started having that untouchable aura. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to people, regardless of who they are, when you have that, I'm untouchable, nothing can touch me, like y'all can infiltrate my situation. People love when that sense of mystery comes tumbling down, because people definitely want to know the tea that's going on up in there. No matter how hard Beyonce tries to keep the force field around her personal business, they want to know that there will be some sense of humanity behind her in the eyes. 25K, and they couldn't get 25K. It said 250K, and they couldn't get the audio. Okay, I'm like, so you spent all that money, but then again, see, I don't really know about like elevator footage. Do they have audio with? Would there be audio that comes with it? Because I think like when you have like those cameras and stuff, they can put up the cameras and stuff for you for us to be able to see and keep an eye and watch what you're doing. But I think it might be a violation of your First Amendment rights or whatever if they have audio footage. I'm thinking. So it's like, yeah, we could hide behind the whole fact of like, yeah, we need the cameras to be able to protect individuals, especially if like a criminal act happens in the elevator, and we need to get that footage so that way we can identify the person who was attacked. And I'm not saying outside of the Beyonce thing, just in general. But I would think like the audio, that would be a violation of our First Amendment, I would think. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but I would think like that most I don't think elevators will be allowed to even have sound for that reason. That's what except when you in the elevator, you gotta hear that damn music they put in there. I said thoughts on together again. 3.0 Las Vegas residency by Janet. That's why I said, look, I gave my thoughts on it yesterday. I'm loving the outfits. I like the new Ozempic body. Child, you know she ain't lose that with no damn diet and exercise. She had a shot in her damn stomach and she lost all that damn weight. No shade, but I'm just saying, however you want to keep it off, keep it off. You the one that got to live with the body and the side effects. But and I like the new costumes. I like the fact that she's zhuzhing up the sex and stuff again, and she's loosened up, and she seems like she's way more energized. However, what do you expect? Janet is going to give you the same damn thing over and over. Now, the fans is getting mad, apparently, because they say that she's basically giving y'all what she's been giving y'all for the past couple of years with the Together Again tour. She basically just zhuzhed it over to a residency, add a couple of songs, and trying to pass it off as a new show. But I'm like, look, I've never been to a Janet show, but I know what I'm going to get when I walk up in there. I like a sense of unpredictability when I go see my favorite artist. I don't want the same show because I'm like, well, damn, if I seen that a couple of years ago, why would I want to pay money to see that again? Also, I want to know how it was dealing with when. Are you talking about that Madonna hater that I was talking about earlier on Instagram? Because somebody tried to sit up and say Madonna was doing, talking about her celebration tour, that she was doing the same show. I'm like, first of all, you clearly didn't go because the celebration tour was not like the Madame X tour, nor was it similar to the MDNA tour, nor was it similar to the Rebel Heart tour, nor was it similar to the Confessions tour, nor was it similar to the Reinvention tour, nor was it similar to the Drowned World tour, nor was it similar to any of the tours that she did in the 80s. So what the hell are you talking about? Madonna never repeats herself when it comes to her tours. Every time you've seen a tour of hers, every time she's toured, she's giving you something different. Now, if you want to sit there and talk about costumes, that's a damn lie too. Because even when she did the comb bra, there's always been a remix on the comb bra look. The same look that she had when she did damn, I'm trying to remember the tours when she did. Well, she's done many of comb bras tour looks. The Reinvention one was not similar to the one that she had when she did the Celebration tour. So even if she wears the same costumes, it's always a remix or a different look to it. So y'all tried it. I was like, we're not going to. I said, you must got her confused for Janet because Janet will give you the same dance steps, the using, and I don't understand how she got the same four damn dances. Because I said, if you got if you're doing a residency and the people at the residency is paying you to be up in there and do their show, how you only got four dancers? Like you could request them to give you like more. I would have been like, give me a full 8. You said I also hate how he copied Jean-Michel Basquiat. I'm glad you got the reference. I was like, It's like, no, that whole Jean-Michel Basquiat. I was saying, this is giving me like that Kanye shit when he run around. I'm Michelangelo, and I don't know what you a Ninja Turtle because you damn sure ain't Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci or any of them. So you must be comparing yourself to a damn Ninja Turtle because you damn sure ain't comparing yourself to an artistic genius that you be talking about. So that's what I was like, reminding me of. You said Beyonce. Of course she do. She know what the bodies is, Barry. Just like the Diddy video beating Cassie, no audio either. That's why I said it's like, yeah, there's no. I don't think when it comes to camera footage, there is no audio that usually comes with it because I think it would be a violation of the First Amendment. When it comes down to visual stuff, it's like, yeah, they need the cameras and stuff in there because just in case any kind of situation goes down, the police comes in and needs to subpoena records or whatever the case is, or files or footage, or whatever the case is. There's like they could pull it, they could see the person, but as far as like what they saying. I don't think you can get audio because that'd be a violation of like you can't be listening in on people's conversations. Okay, so now, but speaking of Diddy, because we were just talking about him, let's get into the trailer for this Peacock documentary. Now, funny enough, the only documentary I knew about was the one that 50 Cent has coming. I didn't know that there was a Peacock one, unless I did know and I forgot. But I didn't recall. I do not recall that there was one that Peacock was doing. But yesterday, while we were doing the show, actually, I think they released the trailer. I'm not gonna play it here because it's part of NBC Universal, and y'all love coming for me when it comes to violation of copyright, all that crap. Which is why I think a lot of times us pundits who basically you need us to promote y'all stuff to get people to watch. We do it for free. We don't even ask y'all to, you don't got to pay us money to get us up in here to watch your stuff. But y'all love to flag them and like movie studios. This is why I don't do like reaction videos and stuff because I've noticed like even bigger content creators have been complaining about this. And I've responded to some of the stuff, but it's like, yeah, because y'all studios want to go after us because y'all think the old school way of doing things is still the way to do things. And I'm like, no, it's not. So unfortunately, I won't be able to play it here, but if y'all need to go see it, it's on YouTube. But the documentary I believe it comes out on January 14th. That's next week. And it's going to take a deep dive into the Diddler's backstory. So now Peacock has unveiled the trailer, shout out to Variety for this story, for a new Diddy documentary in which his bodyguard, intern, makeup artist, and producer speak out against the disgraced music mogul. Child, I was going to make an American Life joke. I was going to say, was it the lawyer, the manager, the agent, the chef, the three assistants, the nanny, the flyer, and the jet? Are they the ones that's going to come out and the trainer? Are they going to come out and all speak out against Diddy? Oh, okay. So they said, honestly, I didn't want to be around him unless there was cameras. One of the people in Sean Combs' inner circle says in the trailer for Diddy to make it a bad boy. That was the woman that said that. I couldn't remember what her name was, but I have seen her around. When I think during making the band, she was always around Diddy when he was doing like in certain scenes. I had seen her around before, so I know she used to work for him. They said, and then the 90-minute documentary special will premiere on Peacock, as I told you, on January 14th, promising to provide crucial insight into the forces that shaped Combs and may have made him a monster. Now, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy, features interviews with one of Combs' childhood friends, his former bodyguard, and a winner of Diddy's music competition series, Making the Band. Plus, producer and singer-songwriter Al B. Shore, child, they got Quincy Daddy. Because, Quincy been living with Diddy, and that's Kim Porter child that she had with Albie Shore. So he going to be in the interview, too. Now, this definitely piqued my interest. Because y'all know, if y'all been paying attention to Albie Shore on his Instagram, excuse me, he has gone after Diddy in a lot of situations. Went through our little subliminals and this, that, and the other. Not really fully going in, but he said some very disparaging things against the Diddler. And also talking about he need Quincy to come home because he think Quincy been brainwashed. So, okay, so they said that, I'll be sure, who was at Uptown Records with Combs and dated Kim Porter before him, speaks out about his former label mate. The documentary also includes new footage of Diddy partying, both at home and in the studio. An anonymous interviewee in the trailer says, I've been with Sean for quite a while and I've captured a lot of moments. Anytime a studio or any rooms is red, he's making love and sex. Well, that's like a film school thing with the red and stuff. They also said that red means danger. It's sort of like a symbol of like when you want to get It's like it's a film school situation when you want to use any sense of reds or blues or whatever the case is. Red means like blood, and it means danger, and it means debauchery, any kind of thing that kind of gets into like that hedonistic type of vibe. That's what you use your reds for. So they also said that anytime a studio or any room is ready, he's making love and sex. Some of the ones who went in the room, for sure, they were underage. Now, Combs has been accused of R-wording, child SA, and sexual misconduct by multiple people for incidents taking place between 1991 and 2023. His homes were raided by the Department of Homeland Security, and he was arrested after a grand jury indicted him. He was charged with S trafficking and racketeering and is currently incarcerated in Brooklyn as he awaits a criminal trial in May. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all federal criminal charges from 2024. Now, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy is not the only documentary exploring the dark and disturbing world of the diddler. Netflix is producing a docuseries from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson about Combs' allegations, and ID, the producer of the Nickelodeon expose Quiet on Set, will investigate the fallen rapper producer in a multi-part doc to premiere on Max. Now, the thing with this is this. I'm really hoping that this documentary isn't one of those, because like, remember back in the day? Yeah, I'm about to take y'all back to the back in the day. I believe in the '90s, if I remember correctly, or maybe '90s, 2000, when there was like a high-profile case, and they would make like TV. Every network would have their TV movie version. Like every network had their version of Amy Fisher. When that whole situation came out, and they made a whole. It was like ABC had their version, CBS had their version, NBC. I think the only one I watched was the one with Drew Barrymore played Amy Fisher. That was the one I watched. Out of everybody else, I watched hers. I think even Alyssa Milano played Amy Fisher at one point. So all the networks would do that. It kind of feels like this with these documentaries, and it's hard because it's like, which one do I watch? Because once upon a time, when they had like that Firefest documentary, they came out with a multitude. I think they did like 2. I think the only one I watched was the one that was on Hulu. The one that I heard that was on another network, I heard it wasn't that good, but the one that I saw on Hulu was good. So so the problem is, I want to see the one behind the people of Quiet on Set, because I like the Quiet on Set documentary, and the many documentaries or docuseries they've been behind was actually pretty good. So I would trust them. But also, what worries me is the fact that we're going to get oversaturated. And I feel like if I invest in all of them, the 50 Cent one, because it's going to be some extra sauce thrown on the 50 Cent one, because 50 can't stand Diddy. So that one's going to be thoroughly entertaining. But then again, I worry because I don't know if I should watch all 3 of them. And I don't want to be left disappointed, because I'm like, okay, so y'all got this Peacock one that it seemed like y'all rushed that out just so that way y'all can get ahead of the Diddy of the 50 Cent one and the Quiet on Set produced one. But I guess at this point, I'm gonna probably watch all 3 of them, because they're probably all gonna come at it from a different perspective. 50 Cent being someone who has been in the music industry and still kind of placates in the music. He's more or less a mogul now, and he develops a lot of TV shows and movies and things. So he's now becoming like a studio head. So he's in a different plane, but he still has his finger on the pulse of what's going on in music, because he has his residency, and he still knows people within the industry, so he can come at it from that standpoint. The Quiet on Set, the way they did theirs, they can come at it from that standpoint with the Diddy thing. So I guess for me, I guess to answer my question, I'm gonna watch all 3 of them, and depending on it, or all 3 of them, I'll just see like which one really gave the tea in regards of like breaking down the shenanigans of the diddler. So I say all this to say, have you seen the trailer for the new Peacock documentary, and are you looking forward to seeing this? Or even out of the ones that I mentioned, which documentaries are you most definitely looking forward to seeing? Is it this one? Is it the one produced by 50 Cent? Or is it the one produced by the people behind Quiet on Set? Or are you interested in watching all 3 like me? Because I'm nosy. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. You said the Ellie Goulding show on this sphere, but I don't think that venue is going to last, because it's mostly a screens and visually venue, but no dancers as such. I I've never been to the Sphere, so I don't know what it entails. They are building one, I believe, in Abu Dhabi. That is the next one they're going to be building. So I don't think the Sphere is going anywhere. I think it depends on who they can book to show up there. Because I know at one point, I think they said the Eagles performed there. So, excuse me, when you have an older skewing band and there's a residency there, they'll be successful. U2 was there, they did well. So I think it depends on who you book at that venue. I don't think the Sphere is gonna anything's gonna happen to it. I do believe it'll last. If it does last, I mean if it doesn't last, I'll be shocked. But you said your podcast will be more interesting when you see the docs and give your thoughts on them. Wait, why do I feel like that was a read? You said my podcast will be more interesting. It's like, well, when you watch the docs and give your thoughts, then it'll be interesting. Oh, I think, are you trying to say that they'll probably be interesting if, if I watch all of them and then I give my thoughts and it'll be like, okay, so this was probably the best one, and that way y'all should watch it. But who knows when we're even gonna get who knows when we're gonna get the 50 Cent one, or who knows when we're gonna get the Quiet on Set one, because they're doing these multiple episodes. Wait, you saying yes that was a read, or I am confusion. It's like, Cleveland, don't have me beat you up. I say it with love. But it's like, um yeah, I know it. I'm getting damn cold. See, this is why I should have got me some I should have drank some tea earlier and I didn't. Um but anyway. Oh, you said it's not oh, so I think I broke it down. You're basically saying that it'll be more interesting, that maybe y'all probably not going to sit and tune in like I will. And so I'm going to just give y'all the opinion and be like, well, this is the docu-series documentary. I don't even know how many episodes we even getting with this one. I don't know if it's a 2 hour thing or well, we know the other ones, the do Netflix does Netflix? I said do Netflix. Does Netflix do one-off episodes of documentaries? I've always felt like they will do a thing, but they always do like these. When they break these down, it's like it's always a series. Like it's always they'll probably do. I mean, if they do a docuseries, 3 episodes or whatever the case is, and then with the Quiet on Set, it was like 4 episodes. But I'm thinking like with Diddy, you can't just break that down in like a 90-minute or a 2 hour situation. It has to be a multitude of episodes. So I don't know. That article didn't necessarily say it was going to be a series of episodes or a series or just a one-off. But we'll see. I'll watch it and I'll tell you whether or not if it was salacious enough or if we learned anything that we haven't already talked about on this damn show when it comes out. Okay, so now let's get political. Let it go. And talk about James Carville flip-flopping ass, who basically said, he's a Democratic strategist. Normally I like him, but I'm like, sir, you ain't no damn different than them elites over there. So once the veil was lifted from my eyes and I started reading more about him. So apparently the Democratic strategist believed that Vice President Kamala Harris would win, but he admitted in a New York Times op-ed that he didn't listen to his own advice from the 1992 campaign. It's the economy, stupid. Well, it's not just the economy why we were hurting. It was just that y'all were just horrible with your damn messaging. And the fact of the matter was, progressives have been trying to tell people for years what y'all need to be doing. But you got these centrist Democrats who want to continue to keep the money flowing into their situation. They don't mind that they have, the APACs and all these other super PACs that are funneling their campaign and taking money from CEOs. No different than what Republicans are doing. But to be honest, more Democrats took money from these corporate super PACs than Republicans. Yeah, Trump had a few, but not as much as what Kamala and Biden was taking. So it's funny, I didn't even get to what he said. I was already going on my tangent regarding political stuff. Because, I told you I'll be paying attention. And the wool's been pulled over my eyes in regards to maybe because I wasn't really paying attention, but I've gotten more engaged in politics in the past couple of years. So he said, I thought Kamala Harris would win. I was wrong, he wrote Thursday in a New York Times editorial. He said, we lost for one simple reason. It is, and it always will be the economy. Stupid. Why do I feel like I'm saying like Cher? It's the economy, stupid. Democrats have flat out lost the economic narrative. The only path to electoral salvation is to take it back. His piece argued that Democrats have lost the perception battle, though it didn't really analyze why Harris's economic message failed to land. The vice president spent hundreds of millions of dollars promoting her 82-page plan for an opportunity economy that would have bolstered a middle class by cutting taxes, banning price gouging, and helping first-time homebuyers. Now, Trump also vowed to cut taxes, but planned to impose massive tariffs and deport immigrants. But then again, didn't I hear something recently about what was the situation? So now I gotta go look up. There was something that had came out recently from Pondering Politics. Shout out to Kyle Kalinske, because there was something that I had watched with him where there was basically talking about that there was how Elon Musk, because they're on this whole situation with Elon Musk, basically how he fired or laid off, we should say, members that worked at Tesla, only for him to hire immigrants because you can basically work them to the bone and not necessarily pay them a living wage. Instead of just paying your workers a minimum wage, I mean not a minimum wage, a livable wage, and that would help them out. But why would you do that? So now, and then what's going to happen is instead of the people at Tesla, or maybe they are, I don't know, revolting against Elon Musk grifting money hungry ass, what they're going to do is they're going to blame the immigrants, because this is what they do. They like to distract y'all, but the immigrants are coming to take your jobs. Those people are coming. No, the CEOs are laying off people because they don't want to pay you a livable wage. So we'll have y'all infighting with the immigrants. Americans fight the immigrants, fight all these other people. Those people over there are trying to take your jobs, while you have grifters and money hungry hippos. That wasn't where I was going to go with that, but that's where the brain went, so we're going to go with it. Like Elon Musk, who are going to take all the money and run out the back door while y'all are sitting up in here knifing each other in the damn gut. This is what they do. But I forgot what it's called. I think it's called HN1. So I was thinking that's what they call like the people that have like those type of immigrants. So yeah, that was the latest video that I saw yesterday. And then here's the thing. Another thing I think that hurt her when she took her ass over there on The View. There's another thing too. Y'all need to stop going on them shows. And that's why I said in here, he does say something I agree with. James Carville, who's like, y'all need to go to the podcasters. These are the new people that you need to get the word out on. And and he explains that. So let me just get into that. So they said the vice president spent hundreds of millions of dollars promoting her plan. Trump also vowed to cut taxes, which, he's going to cut taxes for his rich cronies. The tariffs, that's coming out of our pocket. He'll deport immigrants, but at the end of the day, you're going to need people the immigrants, especially the illegal ones, they keep this country running. Y'all may not want to hear that, but they do. They also contribute a lot to our, in regards of like paying taxes and things. Now, his campaign surrogate, Elon Musk, or as they like to call President Musk, flat out stated Trump's plans would create temporary economic hardship, though economists debate just how temporary it will be. Now, Carville's piece seemed to imply that all of this got lost in the noise of attacking Trump. He said, it's clear many Americans do not give a rat's tail about Mr. Trump's indictments, even if they are justified, or about his anti-democratic impulses, or about social issues, if they cannot provide for themselves or their families. Once they've owned their laser-sharp economic message, Carville continued, he said, Democrats need to take yet another page from Trump, who spent the presidential campaign avoiding journalists and their pesky follow-up questions in favor of the warm embrace of friendly podcasters' couches. Democrats must trudge headfirst with his economic agenda into the new media paradigm. Sorry. we now live in. Podcasters are the new print newspaper and magazines. Social platforms are the social conscience, and influencers are digital stewards of that conscience. Hello, I've been telling y'all that. More people listen to what we got to say over here than what they saying over there at CNN or MSNBC because they're liars, and they've been proven liars. You had CNN faking a whole damn rescue from some guy that was in oh my god, which was it? It wasn't Gaza. I think it was Yemen or one of the places. Come to find out, he was one of the damn officers that was doing the torturing. Syria, that's where it was. They were trying to make a whole faking. I'm like, wait a minute. Now, first of all, if you was in a prison with no light, when you couldn't even see the sun, you was in a room with no windows, nothing. How many of your ass step outside, your eyes ain't hurting? Because if you in a dark room for weeks, the first thing I'm doing is I'm squinting. My eyes hurt. Give me some shades or something. Then I'm looking at the clothes. The clothes is clean. If you in a room that's dirty and you've been in there for days, why is your jacket clean? So if y'all gonna make up a story, at least, see, this is how you know that people ain't professional actors. Because if you on a movie set, they pay attention to the detail on making you look like you're the character you're supposed to portray. That's if you know what you're doing. You're not like a horrible movie director. So CNN out here with the fake news, and this is why a lot of people don't believe in them, because Trump done coined that word, that phrase, and people believe it. And CNN and MSN, all you other Democratic ones, because y'all trying to go back and forth with with what they doing with the conservative stuff, they're just better at the messaging. They know how to simplify a term and get it embedded in your brain. Democrats spend way too much time trying to be like, look, we're trying to show you with action. People ain't paying attention to what the hell y'all doing. You got to remind people what you out here doing. Nobody's sitting on social media all day pondering politics. People got mouths to feed. They got money to make. They trying to survive so that way they can keep a roof over their head, food in their mouth, and clothes on their back. They ain't got time for all this extracurricular bullshit that y'all out here trying to spew, or all this political jargon. Sometimes, I'm sorry, not a lot of people are smart enough to understand politics. So yes, you have to dumb things down enough. So, or I won't even say simple, dumb it down. Dumb it down makes it seem like you're stupid. Simplify it. You have to simplify your message in like a tweet, even though I can't stand Elon Musk, and you already see what he did to Twitter. But sometimes you got to simplify things down to a tweet for people to understand and to get the message across. And remove super damn PACs from influencing our votes and who should be the damn president. That's what y'all need to be doing. But I do agree. They do need to reach out to people who are pundits on social media that are doing this whole stuff. I'm not saying you need to sit down with Joe Rogan, because you don't. Joe Rogan's a damn flip-flopper. I don't particularly care for Joe Rogan, because at one point he was for Medicare for all, he was for trans rights, he was for all the things, and then all of a sudden he sat down with Trump and changed his damn tune. So I don't agree with going on a Joe Rogan type. Stop trying to infiltrate the other people who don't give a good goddamn about you and already have their mind made up. What you need to do is, like I said, go on the Kyle Kalinske type show. There's so many other political pundits out here who does pondering politics. I'm not even saying go to the Young Turks, because they've been radicalized too, and they went and flip-flop as well. Him and that dumbass bitch Anna. I can't stand them. So yeah, go on Secular Talk. Go on what is it, Pondering Politics. You can go over there on who's the other ones? There's a lot of other political pundits. We got what's his name? Luke Beasley. The little cute cell. Go on his show. Go on you can even sit down with Sabby Sabs. Because you need to sit down with the people that's gonna really like that have the audience, and they're more progressive in a lot of their things. And y'all sit up here thinking centrist and that the old guard of politics is not the way it is anymore. More people are progressive now, more so than ever. I'm paying attention because I watch a lot of these political shows. Go on Brian Tyler Cohen's show. Sit down with him and have the conversation. Go on the Damage Report and sit down with those people. Also, what was another one? The one that I forget the other show that I watched that they say anytime Jake come out and say some mess, they going on him and call him out on his foolishness. I think it might be Pondering Politics. I could be wrong. But yeah, go on a lot of those shows. There's enough Democratic, progressive people or people who lean more independent that you should be reaching out to. I'm not saying that you need to sit down with what's his name that looked like he need to wash his ass. Theo Vaughn. No, I ain't saying you need to sit down with him. I'm not saying you need to sit down with Joe Rogan. I'm not saying you need to sit down with what's the one with the Jew with the high voice? I'm not saying you need to sit down with him. Oh yeah. I think when I'm saying like the damage report, that's I think that guy is he still with the Young Turks? Um So yeah, I think that you just need to change your situation. Don't go on the Young Turks because they're the devil. They go where the wind blows. They're no different than Mika and Joe Scarborough. I can't stand a flip flopping ass bitch. You already know, like if you're gonna sit up in here and bend the knee because you want to go where the wind blows, you want to go with what's popular instead of standing on your convictions and just being like, you know what? It's in these times when you need to stand up and fight the good fight and not just be out here trying to survive. Basically, I can't stand. No, I'm here for you if you need to survive, but don't try to destroy. Don't try to survive or do something in a selfish situation where it's just like my shit is on the line. Those people I don't like. So one of the things I saw, shout out to Lady Bunny, and you know people be hating on her because she be coming out here and saying the stuff that y'all need to be saying. But then what happens is, and this is where I feel like James Carville falls in that situation. Y'all be wanting to say the things that y'all really want to say about the Democratic Party and how broken it is and this other stuff, but then you get those elites that get up in there and they go, you know, those wealthy folks, those Democrats, the ones that because at one point wasn't Kamala for Medicare for everybody? Wasn't she for um raising the minimum wage and all this other stuff? And then all of a sudden she started to back off of certain situations. That will piss people off. And then she went on The View and Sunny Hostin asked her, well, what would you do differently from Joe Biden? And she said, nothing comes to mind. So why the hell would I vote for you? If you pretty much going to pass down the same policy, and if you're going to give us Biden 2.0, why would I vote for you? I understand you being a loyalist because he made you the vice president and you appreciate the fact that you're the first woman of color to be the vice president of the United States and Biden gave you that opportunity. However, just because you were nice enough to make your White House look like a Benetton ad, don't necessarily mean that I got to bow down and kiss the ring and be absolutely blind and loyal to whatever you do. I'm running for president now. Vice president is what it is. I'm running for president. Therefore, I cannot sit up in here and follow the same policy and just blindly go along with stuff because I don't want to rock the boat. And I feel like that's what James Carville was doing. He wanted to come out and say the things. The fact of the matter was that people was going to get up in his ass and he wanted to fall in line. Like those same people that sit up here and go, well, you shouldn't be out here saying all this because that's going to get the people to vote for Trump. Like if you say the stuff too loud, that's going to give them ideas. He already had the fucking idea. How do you think he won? So you not saying the quiet part out loud, that doesn't help things. That makes it worse. By falling in line and just going along to get along, I don't agree with that. Sometimes you got to go against the tide. Especially if you give a damn about the party you so graciously act like you want to be a part of or that you care enough about. So yeah, so Lady Bunny said that she said Dem strategist James Carville analyzes Kamala's loss, admitting that Dems weren't offering any economic relief to voters who said they needed it. He now thinks Dems should focus on things like a higher minimum wage and raise money by taxing the wealthiest. Too bad James has only bashed progressives over the last 15 years. They wanted to do exactly what James now recommends Democrats do after the election. And yeah, this is the time when Democrats do, and this is what people have been saying over the years, Democrats will sit up in here and try to act like they're doing so much. But if you pay close attention, they're doing the bare damn minimum. And I'm a Democrat, so I can talk this shit. This is what I hate, that people go and But like, well, then that means you vote for Trump. If you go and say anything against a party that they blindly agree with, then that means you voted for Trump. Really? Because I didn't vote for his orange ass. I never voted for him. So I've always said this: if you give a damn about anything, whether it's just anything in general, even if it's, but in this example, when it comes to the country, if I didn't care about this freaking country, I wouldn't be on here talking the stuff that I've been saying. I wouldn't be damn near trying to strangle the freaking Democrat, like shake him alive, to be like, wake the freak up. If y'all don't pay attention to what's really going on in this world, y'all gonna keep losing. You lost 2 out of the 3 with the Republicans. You only won Biden because people was pissed off of what Trump, how he handled the last presidency. But you know, people got short-term damn memory. And the fear mongering and all the other stuff kicked in. Why he got voted in again, which I shake my head at that. And now we see like this MAGA civil war going on, and a lot of people are pissed off. And now some of the maggots are waking up and be like, "Oh my God, I made a mistake." Well, guess what? There's no backseas when it comes to a vote. It is what it is. You're gonna have to deal with this shit for 4 damn years. And a lot of y'all that live in them red states, like, we're all gonna be affected, but nobody's gonna be affected as hard as they are. But that's what you voted for. And you can't blame Biden, but they will find a way to do it. So the people in the comments said, yeah, he's totally the kind of Bill Maher liberal, old rich white guy that only hops on the progressive bus after the fact. And that's another thing that pisses me off. A lot of these Democrats, a lot of y'all like to jump on shit after the fact. Fuck with y'all before when we was all saying this. But now you want to change your damn tune because you lost. Well, it is what it is. Now you just gonna have to deal with it like the rest of us. But another person said, I watch him and others now trying to say they were mistaken while preaching beforehand they were always right. Why are you still talking about Kamala? LOL. Cannot wait until January 20th at 1 p.m. and 4 years of but Kamala. Oh yeah, Dems are so terrible. But yeah, I do agree. It is freaking annoying. When people want to sit here and jump on the bandwagon after the fact. But I'm like, okay, I'm not going through one time of woulda, coulda, shouldas. You should have had all this stuff done from the beginning. So I say all this to say, what did y'all think of what James Carville had to say? I feel like it's a little too late. Y'all can sit up in here and still try to strategize what you coulda, shoulda, and woulda done for her to win. Y'all just need to do better at pushing out y'all narrative. Like, what is the new Democratic Party about? Because the Republicans, we pretty much have figured out the old Republic is gone. And Kamala coming out to my, oh, I want a Republican in my cabinet. You do? Because I don't. The reason why we have separate parties is for a reason. What we do need is more than a 2-party system. Because both sides is fucked up. And both sides are beholden by super PACs, corporate owned super PACs, especially APAC. Don't even get me started on they behind. And how they were behind trying to get rid of TikTok. And the reason why they were trying to get rid of TikTok is because TikTok, that was the one place that everybody was going to get their information regarding what was happening in Gaza. That was the one place you can go where you can get the stuff out there. And the fact of the matter was, Donald Trump is changing his tune. Now he's talking about that they want to just halt the thing on them trying to ban TikTok. And the only reason, and you know what, I'm here for it. I'm glad that he stepped up and doing it, but he's doing it for the wrong reasons. He's not doing it because all of a sudden he has a change of heart and he actually is all about freedom of speech. The only reason why that he's doing this whole thing with TikTok is because the man that runs TikTok gave him money for his campaign. So, you know, it's always rooted in who's going to give him money, who's going to, you can pretty much buy the president of the United States, just like apparently America is up for sale, as long as we got these damn super PACs running the damn show. So I say all this to say, with my long-winded ass conversation regarding politics, but when it comes to politics, you can't just sit up here and talk about it in a little Instagram post or a reels or a tweet. You got to break it on down for y'all to get the full situation. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding what James Carville had to say about why Kamala Harris lost, which I feel like we're going to be hearing this mess for the next maybe 2 years until the midterms. I'm gonna be nice and say to the midterms. I was gonna say next 4 years, but I'm gonna give it to 2026. We're probably gonna hear a lot of the woulda, coulda, shouldas and what could happen, which is gonna annoy the hell out of me. But let me know what you think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, and I see a lot of people had comments or have something to say on this. I'm glad you said this because I said the one with the high voice, and it's funny how Sailor Mermaid automatically knew I was saying Ben Shapiro. Can't stand his ass. The one with the high voice, you automatically knew what I was talking about. Um, hold on, because I'm like, damn, how far up do I have to go? Lisa, I watched the video that called the modern Democrat a right wing, and they would be correct. The modern Democrat definitely leans more right wing. If you really been paying attention to a lot of the policies, it's more Democrats have leaned more conservative than any other party. And then on top of that, it was the campaign was rubbing me the wrong way when you saw Kamala talking about, oh, I want a Democrat, I want a Republican in my cabinet, and hobnobbing with Liz Cheney and them. I'm like, what are you doing? Y'all so because it was sort of like, oh, we're gonna combine forces to go against them because they're no longer the Republican Party that I once knew. No, it just goes to show that we need more than a two-party system. But that's the one time where both sides is like, no, we don't want a two-party system because we've benefited so much from being a two-party system. So they don't want change. They don't want because they're benefiting so much from the non-change happening. As long as they continue to turn a profit from it, it also because Democrats are extremely afraid to go to rural America. Yes, it's conservative major, but the majority of the working class lives in rural America. Not going to find the working class in Phoenix, LA, New York City, etc., but the farm towns and other areas. Democrats abandon us metropolitan areas. And look, that's why it was like that's why Trump was winning the Rust Belt and all those places because he was going there. Like, what the hell does he know about the Rust Belt? He's a New Yorker and went to the places that the opposite side decides, let me just stick to the metropolitan area. You had somebody from a metropolitan area who went to the other areas and managed to pull in those people. You said, I live around in the rural South and feel like I should be a registered Republican and Trump voter just by the environment I'm around. Trump held a rally in my town last year and in 2020. I'm around so many of these hillbillies. I said, that don't mean call me that. Yeah, agreed. I don't know why the hell she went on that. I didn't even watch that show. I just don't. Now if Elliott Wilson want to pop off on somebody that shouldn't have a podcast and just be up here saying a whole bunch of stuff and can't differentiate from their cards, you need to go on that broad that do the call me daddy. That show is insufferable, but people like it, so whatever. That don't mean go to call me daddy podcast, go to Joe Rogan, go to conservative podcasts and debate stuff. What also hurt Kamala Harris was she gave podcasters approved questions. And here's the thing, I don't agree that she needs to go on Joe Rogan. To me, I look at, even though he is one of the most popular podcasts right now, I don't trust nothing that come out that man's mouth. I can't trust a grifter or just someone who's unapologetic about it. And where it's just like everything that comes out your mouth is like, I don't trust nothing that comes out your mouth. Because you was all for one thing 1 minute, but now that you see where the wind blows, you changed. So if you want to go on conservative podcasts of people who are willing to be nuanced, then yes, we need to do that. Also, yes, like if you want to come on my show, you're not going to tell me what I can and cannot ask you because I need it to feel authentic, the conversation. Say what you want about Trump, and believe me, we have on this show. But the one thing about him, and yeah, he does get a little salty if you say anything combative against him. But when it comes down to it, he's unfiltered. And people like that. People want to feel like that you are not scripted in how you talk. And the problem with a lot of these Democratic politicians, y'all are so caught up in the political bubble that y'all don't know how to be down in the trenches and really be real with people. And that's what people want. They want to know like I hate using the term like I want to have a beer with a person. But that's the way that a lot of people want to feel. Like when they have these type of conversations, they want to feel like that I can relate to you in some sort of way, even though rich folks, politicians are supposed to be unattainable, but attainable. If that makes sense. And so that don't mean and you said ended up pulling out saying I'm not going to do pre-approved questions. And one friend said I felt uninvited because I'm a high school dropout and I can't get a job because I have no college work. And that's another thing too. Like a lot of what these, look, even though the Republicans and stuff, they're college educated people with a lot of money and all this other stuff. Democrats do kind of especially when you have a lot of these fraternity, sorority, HBCU, these type of people, those ones who are college educated. A lot of times, like the way they come across, there are some people that feel like you act like the way y'all carry yourselves that y'all are better than the average person, even though you need the average person's vote to be able to be the leader of the free world. You said doubling down, simplifying your message is why Trump wins and why so many low IQ people voted for him because they thought he would lower the cost of groceries. And then after the fact admitted that he can't lower the cost of groceries. First of all, politicians can't do that. That's the corporations. That's the supermarket, whoever owns specific supermarkets. So whether it's what is it? I was gonna say Pathmark. Pathmark don't even exist no more. It's like the Stop and Shop, the Costco, the BJ's, all those people the Krogers, the Trader Joe's, the CEOs that run those companies, they're the ones who can lower them damn prices. That ain't got nothing to do with no politician. If y'all actually did research and paid attention to certain things, y'all would know this. Just like you think that when it comes to them, let's use this old slowpoke. Let's use Sloth from the Goonies, aka Elon Musk, as an example. When it comes down to his business, especially with the Tesla, you think that a politician has carte blanche to lower the prices on them Teslas? No, which quite has kept blowing up on a whim. No, that'd be Elon Musk is going to lower them prices. If you are the CEO of a company, you're the one that have the power of said company and what needs to be in lowering them prices. So why would y'all think that a politician could go up and like, oh yeah, I could lower the price of and bacon is expensive. I'm like, really? Because it depends on the type of bacon. Now, if you go out there getting Oscar Mayer, yeah, and Oscar Mayer is expensive, but I've been to the store and I've seen that there are certain types of bacon that is cheaper. The cheaper one, yeah, do fall apart when you pull it apart. Me, I like my Oscar Mayer, so I'm willing, even though I think it is ridiculous that their prices are high, I'm willing to I pay 12, $13 for Oscar Mayer bacon. Majority of Trump voters can't even explain what a tariff is or does. Absolutely. They probably just think, you know what I was thinking? They probably think like a tariff is like a little shiny coin or something or another. It's like, yeah, y'all need to. And don't even get me started because I saw something about there was some state that banned gender studies and women's studies and people of color. And then some politician was in the comments saying something or another about, yeah, y'all didn't stop this woke nonsense. And I wanted to write, you're such a fucking idiot. But I felt like if I would have responded, because I realized when you're a pundit and you use social media as your way to get the message out, well, then let me not respond because if I would have said that, he would have probably reported me. And because you have senator or whatever, that idiot over there that runs, Fuckerberg, or probably be like, oh, well, we're going to take his side. So therefore, my Facebook page probably would have gotten blocked or banned or whatever the case is, and I would have had to start over from scratch. So I was like, you know what? Let me just leave it alone. Let me just say it here instead of, here's a damage report as part of the Young Turks. The Vanguard is what they're talking about. Yeah, the Vanguard, because they're always going on TYT. I'll be living for them. But I put the damage report because the guy, first of all, I heard that Jank and Anonym is jealous of the guy that does the damage report because he's actually getting more viewers than the stuff that Jank and Anna is doing. Oh yeah, I know Hasanabi. It's Hasanabi, Jank's nephew or something another. He's a cutie. And they said the cute guy with muscles that always speaks about the leftist politics on Twitch. Kamala should have went on his stream. His audience is actually old enough to vote. Or am I getting my people confused when it comes to, yeah, I was talking about that queen, Ben Shapiro. In North Carolina, so many graduates from our top universities Our Republicans, an entire fraternity from the state, went to the RNC day one and gave a speech. He said, "Who claims to be child? I don't know how. The first of all, if you look, if you out here if the minute somebody come out and say they have to claim they masculine, child, you ain't masculine. You a big old sissy." No, not Hassan Piker. I respect him, but he's getting Twitch into serious trouble. I don't want Gavin Newsom or AOC or Beto. I need new blood because they're gonna go wait to see who we announce. Well, maybe they need to stop announcing people that we don't want and actually just pay attention to the tea leaves. Or let's hold a primary and let people who have different points of view get out there, and whoever the people responds to, put them up instead of being like, well, that's not who we want because we can't control them. So therefore we want to put this person in. And then we're looking like, but that's not who we want. We want that person. But then the Democrats are like, no, we don't, but it's not their time. It's not their turn. Well, you don't get to determine. I feel like I'm having a conversation with myself back and forth. But you don't get to determine people over there in the DNC who you want to put up. The people will decide. And so, because we're the ones who y'all need the vote from. It's not about, well, okay, it's 2027, it's 2028, it's your turn to go up and be the, no. Sometimes it just ain't meant to be. Sometimes it's not meant for people to be, not everybody is qualified or equipped to be president. It is what it is. And sometimes, no matter how hard you want it, it just ain't for you. And if you want to sit and force it, then you're going to continue to lose. And I don't think that J.D. Vance is going to be the president because he has no personality. And so after Trump leaves or whatever, what's going to happen with the MAGA community? What's going to happen with them? Because you can't run again, even though he thinks he can, but you can't run again. Oh, did I read this one? You said the Young Turks can be arrogant. And this show is unwatchable. Once upon a time, I did watch this show, but then when I noticed the shift in how they were coming across, I was like, I can't get behind this tight-ass show. So I moved on. Kamala went on Fox News, which was always a dumb idea, but Ben Bayer ruined her chance and set her up to look dumb. And that's probably because, you know what, maybe she's not a good conversationalist. So yeah, her going on Brett Bayer's show was not a good idea. Because she can pull the people to the other side. It's like, look, I done told y'all. I do believe that we will get a woman president, but she will be a white woman. And I believe she will be a Republican before you ever see a woman of color. And so y'all can sit up here with your little blinds on and think about, well, she's qualified. That don't mean shit. What the qualifications get you? Not very far, especially when we're seeing how this country is working currently. And so there will never be a day that white people will sit around and let a black woman or woman of color, because she ain't black, well, she damn sure ain't fucking white. So y'all can sit up here and discredit her race or her mixture or whatever the case is. She ain't a white woman. So white people would never vote for a woman of color to be president. Now, if they do, it'll be at a time where I'm long dead. But today, this generation, this time that I'm on this earth, I don't see it happening. You said, I'm so glad that neither Hillary nor Kamala were elected. I couldn't stand Hillary Clinton when she was running. She irritated my spirit, even when she was married to Bill. And I didn't even like when she was the senator of New York. And it was like, nor Kamala were elected. The first female president should be someone with integrity and sincerity. That's why I said this is going to be a white woman and she will be Republican. That's what I truly believe. Unpopular opinion, Trump will always be, was always a better candidate than Kamala. It doesn't mean I was going to vote for him because I didn't, but let's be honest. Heather Peterson says, have you ever looked up the origin of the Democratic Party? Question mark. It's not what everybody. Oh, you mean how they were actually I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, the Democratic Party initially started out conservative. And there were people of color specifically that were Republican in the beginning, and then they switched. And how you had, as it stated here, yeah, there were. Oh, she said triple K members, but but y'all know what that is. Because like, yeah, you had the racists and all them other people up in there, and don't even get me started on how they was trying to take out. Well, I think they did the Black Panther Party. So yeah, people definitely need to look up the history of, our political parties. Kamala Harris was seen as a DEI pick because Biden said his VP would be a black female. I mean, well, isn't Vivek a DEI pick? He a person of color. Biden awarded Liz Cheney with a medal. Child, don't even get me started on Dick Cheney. That is dictating ass. The fact people listen to Joe Rogan before he grift battles baffles me, especially that whole comparing black people to the I forgot that he said that. A senator's 7-year-old son just told Kamala to her face, "I'm sorry you didn't win," and had 2 pep talks with him about defeat and what it means. What is this, an episode of damn Sesame Street? Let me sit down and explain to you what it means to be defeated. Like, I don't need no damn lecture. People refuse to buy generic foods. They're loyal to the name brand. All the generic does is remove 1 or 2 ingredients. You save $3 to $5 compared to the absolutely. And that's why it's like, regardless of how much I have to pay, I will stick with my Oscar Mayer bacon. I'm not going for that one as $8 because I already know. First of all, that bacon falls apart, and I get mad if I'm putting my bacon in the frying pan and it comes out broken up. I need my bacon intact. And then after I'm done, then I make my pancakes because I like to make, this is a Southern term. When you make your pancakes in bacon grease, oh my God, that shit is so good, especially when it gets like hard around the crust, like the edges. And it's that crunch. I live for bacon grease cooked pancakes. They said boomers are insufferable. Okay, going to astrology turf here, but many boomers were born under Pluto and Leo, which results in their arrogance, selfishness, and power. Well, look, they're about to, soon enough, the boomers are going to die off. And this is why I don't, and look, another thing too, since you want to talk about, I don't think it is the boomers. The fact that y'all don't want to let a lot of the next generation come up and get into the rooms, that's another thing that irritates me too. Because I'm like, when y'all behinds die off, and y'all not that far away from dying off, you got to leave everything to the next generation. They have to pick up where you left off. So for y'all to continue to try to selfishly hold on to that power while not letting the younger people come in regardless of their political belief, that's why we have democracies. You're supposed to have a difference of opinion and all these other things. Then it's like that, to me, that's just gonna mess up the whole situation. Like, I feel like y'all should allow the younger people to come in if they have a voice, if they have something to say, if they have if they're coming with an angle where they want to make a change of what has been, because what is not apparently it's not working. So people want to come in and make like little changes. And what's wrong with that? But I understand when you feel a certain way and you want to hold on to a certain power and you don't want to let that go, sometimes the power is just too much, and the money and all the other stuff, where you don't want to let the next people come in and make the changes because you like things being the way they are. But then you want to sit up here and try to pretend that you don't. But it's like, but you're benefiting from it. You said they don't give a damn about nobody if it doesn't benefit them. But with Pluto and Aquarius and Mars retrograde, black and child, okay, older man. He said their power hungry authority is going to soon crumble. Well, look, when it crumbles, I'm going to sit there and have a cackle. Um, Onyx says, and Pluto is going to be Aquarius until what? Not 2044. It may take some time, but MAGA will soon fall. Well, yeah. Well, we all know that's going to happen, which is due to their arrogance and not trying to transform or share their power because the thought of sharing the same power with people they view lesser. Absolutely. And it's funny how they want to sit up here and act like, oh, yeah, we're all for the people. And when they were sitting up here and talking about middle class, I'm like, if y'all actually been paying attention, the middle class is pretty much non-existent at this point. There's rich, and then there's people who aren't rich. So there's poor. Like, even the middle class is poor at this goddamn point. Like, I have people that I work with that live in like middle class places like Long Island and stuff like that, and they're complaining about money. So, and they're financially struggling. Things is getting cut and pensions and all that other stuff. So there is no middle class. There's rich, the 1% who continue to take more of the piece of the damn pie and leave us crumbs. It ain't even a 1% of the pie anymore. It's fucking crumbs. So y'all ate the whole goddamn pie, and we just eating the little crumb shit that's in the metal pan. And then there's poor folks. So it's the haves and the have-nots. That's what that is at this point. And I really wish that people would have this conversation and be like, y'all keep talking about middle class, middle class, middle class. Yeah, there was a middle class 30 years ago, but there is no middle class anymore. I mean, the ones that probably will be able to hold on to that would be my parents, because I was raised middle. Well, I wasn't always middle class. We started out poor. I lived in the projects. Then we got to a point where we were able to move to a place of a middle classdom. But when you were in the 90s, houses were much affordable at that time. These days, where it was like in the 90s, you could buy a home for like 30K, 40K. These days, a 30 to 40K house, you got to come up with $500,000 damn dollars. You got to have 250 to $500,000 in order to buy a home these days. It doesn't start out with like 14 to 20K. You said most politicians left and right are corrupt. It's a corrupt game. You must be willing. Absolutely, and that's why I will. That's why I love the fact that a lot of people are waking up to it. And you said it's going to be Tulsi Gabbard. Someone said Trump was smart for not picking Nikki Haley because he would. Because wait, you saying because she wouldn't vote for him? Oh, you saying that if he would have picked Nikki Haley, he wouldn't have voted for Trump? Didn't they say that the guy that actually blew up the Tesla was a Trump supporter and how he was like a hardcore Trump supporter? He loved him and he felt like Trump let him down. And now Trump's running around with this narrative talking about that the migrants are ones who's blowing up and starting these running cars into people. I was like, okay, first of all, there's no evidence of any of that. But he starts saying stuff and people automatically believe it. Tulsi Gabbard was a 2020 Democratic primary trying to run a flop. I hope the same alpha males who voted for Trump are going to vote for non-attractive non-white, non-blonde women. First of all, I was going to say Tulsi Gabbard. I was thinking Nikki Haley. I'm like, that bitch ain't even, white. She a Indian. But Nikki Haley is not Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, Pluto and Aquarius for these 20 years is going to be chaotic. Child. Well, damn, should I be like one of these people and just run out and leave the country? Because I noticed there's friends of mine and people I know who are talking, yeah, I'm moving. One is moving to Canada. Another one to he moving to Thailand at the end in June. And I'm like, bitch, I ain't running. When the going gets tough, I want to run. I'm like, we've encountered. I was gonna say we have encountered worse, but then again, we don't know how worse this is gonna get. I mean, I'm expecting the worst, but we don't know how worse. Like when it comes to Trump, I don't never expect like nothing bad, nothing. It's not gonna be bad. I'm already expecting it's gonna be bad because he's insufferable. But we'll see how bad it gets. Probably 2 years from now, when we will feel the effects. You never feel the effects in the term, like at the beginning of the term. You start to feel it later on. But when you say history repeats itself, we're in a modern era of Christian fundamentalist movement, aka Ronald Reagan. That's what I'm saying. It feels like we're going backwards. I mean, I don't remember the Ronald Reagan era because I was an infant when Ronald Reagan was president. So I don't remember what it was like to be up under Ronald Reagan, but I can imagine based off of people who were around that told me how it was. It said the upper class should be worried because Neptune, Mars, and I believe Saturn went into Aries, so there may be war brewing along with Uranus and Gemini. That's going to invoke controversy. Well, I'm sure there would be people that don't mind having a little war within their Uranus. I was trying to make a butt joke. You said in the most radical and unpredictable way, it's going to be very crazy. And child, I just hope I don't end up with a whole head full of gray hairs while that happens. But anyway, let's move on because when it comes to politics, we tend to we get real caught up in the matrix of that. But one of the things I will say that I love about this show is that a lot of people will just be engaged with the political talk. So apparently y'all like it. So we'll keep talking about it, but when it's warranted. I also realized I need to start playing around with StreamYard a lot more so that way I can start learning some of these buttons. But anyway, okay, so now let's move on to Katt Williams. Now, y'all know around this time last year, Katt Williams did an iconic and infamous interview with Shannon Sharpe where he was spilling tea about, he said people was going to get they just due He mentioned people like Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey. You know, a hit dog a holler because they was getting all mad and talking about it. But Steve Harvey was 2000 and late with his comment. Like he waited till like 6 months to pipe up. By that time, we didn't give a damn. But like we done moved on. But now you having a developmental delay that took you 6 months to respond to what Katt Williams was saying and talking about he was being bitter. He ain't bitter. Katt Williams never had a tap dance and shuck and jive for a gig like you did, like you have, Sue Coolers. And I remember one time somebody showed a picture of a burger, and Steve Harvey said Steve Harvey looked like one of those a cheeseburger with the onions and stuff in it and the pickles, and the onions represented his ginormous teeth. I was like, that was spot on. But anyway, so word on the street is apparently because apparently what was it? No, Shannon Sharpe was hinting that there's some big things coming, and according to the Jasmine brand, who I happened to gander at earlier, they're implying that Shannon Sharpe is doing a part 2 with Katt Williams. So now, back in November during an episode of Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, the former NFL star marked a 1-year anniversary of their conversation. At the time, he teased the possibility of follow-up interview releasing on January 3rd, 2025, and that will be today. He said, there's a chance you'll be hearing some big surprises very soon, Sharpe said with Ochocinco. I'll say this, he's been working on new material. January 3rd, 2025 is just around the corner. That's all I'll say for now. Now, during Williams' infamous original sit-down with Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, the comedian called out some of his comedy peers, such as Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey. Now, while addressing Kevin Hart, Williams said, in 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. There being a line for him getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He's already had his deals when he got here. What do you think that plant said? What do you think a plant is? Hart took the opportunity to address Williams' comments via Twitter saying, gotta get the anger up out of you, champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which we're good. First of all, any kind of movie that Kevin Hart does is never good. I don't particularly think he's funny. And just like, it reminds me of Tiffany Haddish. I mean, I ain't never seen no lines around the corner for her either. I think she a damn plant. Just like Kevin Hart all of a sudden wound up in Hollywood with this big career. So I wonder, who did he have to kneel before with them knee pads in order for him to get the career that he's got today? Because he's basically very one note with a lot of his, not only his unfunny ass jokes, but also when it comes to the characters he play in movies. And I be getting mad sometimes when I'm stuck on Peacock or YouTube or whatever, and then there's an ad of his come up, and I'll be trying to click real quick, and I can't. So I'm like, damn, I got to sit through this damn video of him. But then I'll just be like, let me just mute it until it's done. That's how much I can't stand Kevin Hart. But say this, like, I'm definitely curious if this happened. Now, today is January 3rd. As of this post or this report, I haven't seen or heard anything regarding what kind of news that Shannon Sharpe, let me hit the Google. Shannon Sharpe has regarding an interview with him in Katt Williams. Because all the videos that I've seen was like 22 hours ago, 9 hours ago. The only thing I see, and 1 day ago, the only thing I see that came recently was from the Shade Room, which was from 5 hours ago, where Shannon Sharpe is calling out Castanet's hygiene after guest roast his room stench. And here's the thing, whenever I look, now haven't I made it look, I swear, I just love my prediction, the energy, I don't know. Sailor Mermaid has done my chart. So I don't know what to call it. My chi, my chakras, my aura, the guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, because it never steers me wrong. I have said on this show many a times, I look at Castanet, he looked like he stank. I said his room looked like it smelled like feet and ass, and it looked like his breath be stinking too. And look, lo and behold, here it comes with the hygiene Olympics. And Shannon Sharpe talking about Castanet stink. He said he heard the rumors about him being a little funky. Now, the conversation kicked off as the guests continuously joked about the smells in the rooms Kai uses when he's streaming. Now, Shannon Sharpe wasted no time bringing up Drewski's comment about Kai not having a bad body odor during the interview. Sharpe reminded Kai about Drewski's words after he appeared on one of Kai's streams, saying Kai's bedroom smelled like spoiled milk. Kai immediately responded by calling Drewski a dumb ass. He quickly shut down the rumors, declaring that Shannon Sharpe that his bedroom is the best smelling room you could ever be in. Why that sound like some Donald Trump mess? Oh yeah, this is like the best smelling room you could ever be in. Like whenever they talk about, no, it's a lie. Like whenever it's like bragging or whatever, that's what that just reminded me of. They said the streamer mentioned that his carpet is the cleanest and everything in his room is so well put together. Shannon kept going, telling Costner how Drewski claimed he had bed bugs, but Kai wasn't fazed and called Drewski a hater. Sharpe didn't stop there, mentioning how SZA and Lizzo also said had thoughts about Kai's hygiene, but Kai cleared that up, saying they only came at him because he didn't wash certain parts of his body during his stream with I Show Speed back in August. The hygiene combo between Shannon Sharpe and Kai took a funny turn as they joked about how they cleaned up in the shower. Shannon says he uses 2 rags, one for his face and one for his derriere. Kai immediately shut down the idea of using 1 rag for everything. Then he tried to roast Shannon, claiming he uses his derriere rag for his whole body. But Kai said that he uses his hand to wash his face and handle his skincare after the shower. But then he called Kai's routine suspect. But here's the thing. If somebody going over there and said, oh, yeah, they coming after me because he didn't wash certain parts of his body during his stream, then if somebody's in the room and your ass stink, then they're going to respond to it. How you going to sit up here and say, oh, they only came after me because I didn't wash a certain part during the stream? That one time is when they're going to be able to have the ammo to get you. Is you that damn dense? And then, yeah, I agree with the whole thing about the 2 washcloths. Like, yeah, I use one for my face. Although you could use like a scrub or whatever to wash your face. You don't need a rag to wash your face. You can use your little skin scrubs and all the other stuff, your facial cleansers and all other stuff, and just get up under the water and wash it off with the shower head. You don't need a washcloth to wipe it off. But then if you need to wash your ass, yeah, get you one of them little scrunchy thingies or wash rag and wash behind. Although I don't particularly like the whole wash rag thing because wash rags is sort of like, if I use it once, I'm throwing it away. Not throwing in the garbage. I'm not like Usher, where it's like the rumor about him is he wears 1 pair of underwear a day, meaning that after he's worn that underwear, he discards it and never and doesn't like rewear it. Which I'm like, he is rich, but I'm just like, who's got time to just wear a fresh pair of underwear every damn day? Just throw them shits in the washing machine, unless you like Ray J, who talks about that, oh, I wear dark underwear because I got the skin marks. And I don't want y'all seeing the skin marks in my drawer. I can't with you straight people who don't wipe y'all ass properly. That's another thing we homosexuals be talking about, y'all. With that, because y'all be sitting up here talking about, oh, this is gay and that's gay. I said, yeah, but at least we wipe our ass properly. We ain't never got to worry about that. You ain't never gonna sit up out here and say we stink. So yeah, I thought it was gonna be some type of salaciousness with that constant thing, but apparently it was an interview that he did with Shannon Sharpe, and they were sitting there talking about each other's routine and how they wipe their behind. So I hope you wipe from the front to the back and not the opposite way, because then you just pretty much just smudging the thing. And you know me, I use dude wipes. So even if I'm out in the street or whatever, and it's like it get a little swampy back there, or if I go to the bathroom, I have to make sure that I know this is a disgusting conversation, but it is what it is. I use dude wipes. Shout out to Amazon. I be getting them from them. I get my dude wipes sent to me every 3 months because they last a while. They send you a huge pack of them. Get a sponsorship with dude wipes, by the way. I put it out there in the universe. I'm going to be a sponsor of this show. And it's like, if I go to the bathroom or number 2 or whatever, and I need to keep it clean, I'm not going to sit up here and use no damn toilet paper. Toilet paper irritates the booty hole after a while, and I don't want the itchy, da back there. So I'm going to use my dude wipes and keep it nice. And, after you don't use the tissue and the tissue is still protruding the stuff, I'm going to use the dude wipes and keep it clean and keep it minty, because I got the minty fresh kind. So I say all this thing besides my booty wiping talk. y'all think of this story? Or what do you think Cat Williams is gonna, if this story turns out to be true, what is he going to bring in regards to the conversation revolving around, who's gonna get their reckoning, I guess, in 2025, based off of whatever Cat Williams is gonna say in this interview. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. He said, "Oh Lord, I think Cat studies astrology or has an astrologer or a tarot reader because he knew a bit too well what 2020." Well, I did tell y'all Cat Williams and I was born on the same day, September 2nd. So, the Virgos, we heavily onto the astrology chart when we could sense things. I think we're more or less in tune to the universe. So, you said I use my cleanser every morning and night, and I use my clean bare hands. That's why I said you can use your hands. You got to use a wash rag, because what if you mistaken it and it's the same color? The wash rag is the same color, and then you just like use the one for your ass for your face, which is what Kai pretty much, said. I was like, what? Use your hands, like wash your hands, which is what I do. It's like wash your hands, make sure your hands are clean, and then you can use the cleanser for your face. I'm not gonna put my dirty hands on my face to put cleanser on. And then if you're in the shower, you could use the water to wipe it off. But it's like straight people, like, who taught y'all how to wash? That's what I want to know. A lot of straight men don't have good hygiene. They don't take care of themselves because they think it's gay. That's why I don't understand gay men. Hello. Well, y'all want to go out here with these men with the swamp ass and cheesy dick with all that smegma in they peen, or they peen smell like, must rat alley or something. I prefer good wipes. I don't trust anyone who still uses. He said, I don't trust anybody that use toilet tissue. Now I do use toilet tissue, but after a while, it's like, okay, the toilet tissue is like for the immediate. But after that, I use dew wipes because I'm like, I ain't going to use up all my wipes on this situation. It's like I just want to. That's like for the end when you get to the finish line and you want to get that final. It's fresh and clean back there. Ain't nobody that is me. I'm just so fresh, so clean. Being born on the same as someone means you have Virgo sun in the same degree as them, which explains y'all shared minds. So you said I installed a come on, bidet. Oh, you in your little fancy apartment in the city. You got a bidet. Oh. I was like, isn't that like sort of like a what do you call those? Like douching? Almost, can you use it for douching? But that is good though. It's like you got a bidet, and it's like, yeah, you sit on the toilet and let that water squirt up in your cat trap, your bussy. Okay, so now hold on. Let me take that out. Okay, so let us move on to this story because this I found a cackle. So apparently Cameron went in on Elliott Wilson because Elliott Wilson decided to fix himself to go on Rory and Mal's podcast. Remember when Rory and Mal used to do a podcast with Joe Budden? And they had a huge falling out, and then Rory and Mal decided to do their own thing while Joe Budden had to go find 5 other people to do a podcast with. And now he out here running around butt naked in people's in his own apartment complex and trying to get into apartments that ain't his. One of the things is, one of my friends told me that they think it was an Adderall situation, that he probably takes Adderall because Joe Budden has sleeping issues, and he's admitted this on his show, and I believe he said he sleepwalks. Now, if you're gonna sleepwalk, don't you want to make sure you got clothes on at least? If you have that problem, or maybe you need to be one of those people that they need to strap your ass to the bed with a seat buckle, or one of them seatbelt buckle situation types. They need to get that and strap you to the bed so you don't get your behind up and walk into the hallway. Because God forbid something happened and you sleepwalking. What if you go out in the street and you get hit by a Mack truck? These are crazy things I think about. But then they said he was butt naked. He got arrested for it. I thought about talking about it as a story, but since we talking about podcasts, I can just throw that up in here in passing. So he thinks it was like a Adderall, because he said he knew people that had those type of episodes, that when it's like you taking the Adderall and you sleepwalk, and he said he knew some people that did. I think it might have been a roommate or something. But anyway, so I went on that side tangent because we was talking about Rory and Mal. But anyway, so Elliott Wilson was a journalist. and wants to let everybody know that he's a journalist, went on the podcast, and he decided to throw a little shade at those of us who are out here in the podcast space who he feels is taking jobs away from people like him, because he feels that podcasters are trying to be the new journalists, which I'm going to disagree with. But we do have the clip. I want to play it for y'all, courtesy of Rory and Maul's what was it, their Instagram, where he was over there, and he said what he said. Please hold as we play this clip.
Like he's Stephen A. Smith. That's what people be mad at you about when you say shit like that.
Which I think he should lean into. Be the old villain.
OD, that was hate.
Why is it? And of course, the minute I refresh it, it takes the sound out. Let's try that one more time, honey.
Like he's Stephen A. Smith. That's what people be mad at you about when you say shit like that.
Which I think he should lean into. Be the old villain.
OD, that was hate.
Why is this for a journalist? Because he has an opinion? Why? This is the shit I do well, and not everybody want to do it. I don't like that shit. And I'd be a hater. You don't like it because you don't think they're good at it? I know I'm better at it. Okay. It's me. It's my life.
Who are you to say I'm better at this than them?
They're not better. Like, that shit cringeworthy. I watch that shit. It's not good.
Yo.
Shit ain't popping.
It
ain't popping.
I don't agree.
What's the camera enemy? He was like, yo, Cameron really asked the question. What are you talking about? No.
Maul and I aren't journalists. We're still in hip-hop media. You are a hip-hop journalist. What interview did Cam take away from us?
Celebrity has access to different things that I may not have. And again, I feel like they underperform.
We made podcasting popping. Then Rap Radar podcast came, and you took God knows how many interviews from us.
Cameron's running like he's Stephen A. Smith.
So basically, he sounded like a damn hater, because I was like, how are we trying to take away anything from y'all if y'all actually had personalities, which quiet as it's kept, a lot of you journalists do not, because y'all don't have personalities outside of what you're reading off a damn teleprompter. When I do this show, there is no teleprompter. Now in the beginning, when I do my it's Chris Avalon, the whole situation, that's not even a teleprompter. That's off the dome. I memorized my own intro when I do the show. Everything else, I'm reading articles and I'm giving my opinion. I don't think that Cameron and many others like him have ever tried to pretend that they're journalists. I just think that in the podcasting space, it allows you to have a personality, and it allows you to have conversations about things that you want to have conversations about without having to go to a network to make it happen. These days, we can create our own content, which is what I've done. I wasn't sitting around waiting for no network to all of a sudden see me and give me an opportunity. I was always taught the belief of if you believe it, achieve it. If you want to go out there and create the thing, go out there and create the thing. Don't wait on other people to give you an opportunity. And Cameron, maybe the music career wasn't doing what it was doing. Neither was it for Mace. And so they found another venue to go into. Same thing with Joe Budden. Joe Budden was pumping up ever a hit. I'm sure it was. He had one, maybe a 2-hit wonder, and the music wasn't doing what it needed to do anymore. He didn't want to do it, so he went and found a new life. And the in the pundit space, he's now he has his own podcast, and he's making lots of money doing that. So I don't understand why people like him, Elliott Wilson, are feeling a kind of way about people coming in, and he feels like they're taking away jobs. No one can ever take away a job from you. You're either good at it or you don't. Or maybe what you should do is adapt to the times, because to be honest, though, the old school way that we used to consume information doesn't exist anymore. Print, people don't read magazines or newspapers or whatever the case is. People are getting their information on the internet. And people are also watching more podcasts. So, of course, Cameron and them jumped in on the conversation. Well, Cam and Mace got online and went on their podcast official Instagram and said the following. They said the year just started and we just chilling, minding our business, sipping champagne. And here comes this Cuban, they said Cuban Gooden Jr. I think they meant Cuba. Or maybe he is Cuban and they was just doing a play on the word. But we'll just go with what he said. This Cuban-looking, junior-looking Cuba Gooding Jr. looking motherfucker with his salty hating ass. Hey yo, at Elliott Wilson, you washed and nobody is checking for you. Hashtag we the new source. Get used to it, clown. You a bona fide hater at its finest. Y'all swipe left because it's high yellow ninja sounding like the illest ninja from Nebraska. Hashtag it is what it is talk. Hashtag nobody saved. Hashtag we say what the fuck we want. He said, oh, we gonna show you how it's done. All gas, no brakes. He even also went on to say, y'all do us a favor and go to that ninja page and flame him on the first post y'all see. We gonna show him we not the one or the twos. Fuck is wrong with him? At Elliott Wilson, what's poppin', Kermit? And one person said, LOL, not at 2:30 in the AM though. And they said, what did he say? Well, we don't need to know what he said because, well, we already know what he said because I played it for y'all. And look, it's only January 3rd. First of all, they posted this 2 days ago. So this was January 1st when this went down. I'm like, God damn, the year just started. Can y'all just give me like a minute to even just get my feet planted into the fact that we in 2025 already we got beefs going on? But then again, this is good grist for my mill. So why would I want y'all to kind of take a back seat? I want y'all to be out here fighting. Shit, it's good grist for my mill. So, then he also went on and said this. He said, hey, Elliott Wilson, then you got some nerve to be following us. But as you can see, we don't follow you, clown emoji. So with that being said, curb your breath stink. If Pun was alive, he will tell you go that way. Fuck out of here. So I think this was this one. Oh, yeah. And then this video is from Cameron and them podcast where he went in on him. Again, please hold.
I want to give a shout out to Brandon Marshall, Kevin Garnett, Matt Barnes, Dan Labitar, Nick One, First Things First, especially Stephen A. Smith, Gillian Wallow, and Gilbert Arenas. I named them three last because they gave me a murder some game about this business before we got into the business. The rest of you bitch ass niggas, I'm telling you right now, we here. We here. Y'all can make your motherfucking phone calls. You can think what I'm saying ain't true. I'm telling you now,
We the new source.
We the new source. Murder, stat, and killer are the new source. Y'all niggas scared and y'all moving funny. Ready. We camera ready. First of all, murder made the slogan. We do it like we do it for TV.
Yeah.
All y'all analysts and niggas that's pissed off, we gonna make you real mad now because niggas gonna start hitting me with the information. I'm gonna make sure I call my friends up. And shout out to Draymond Green too, because I called Draymond early.
It's Summer League. We're gonna be there every game.
Yeah. Football season, we back 4 days a week, and you know what time it is when it comes to basketball. We on your ass, pause, and if you mad, you're gonna get madder. Fuck you, bitch ass niggas.
And here's the thing. What I don't understand about the situation, especially with people like, about him getting upset over Cam and Mace. The fact of the matter is they're just regular guys. Celebrities, but just in a general speaking sense, they're just regular guys who love sports and speak passionately about sports. I think they speak about sports in a way that regular people, like when I'm at work and I'm talking about, the Knicks and the basketball and all other stuff and hockey and all these other things that I'm talking about with my coworkers and people who are actually attending these events, and I'm having conversations with the people in the arena, they talk like how these regular people talk, which is why people relate to a lot of podcasters. We speak at people in general, because I don't do sports stuff, but I like sports. But for me, for the most part, it's like we speak to people how like regular people. And that's why I think gravitates people towards the likes of podcasters versus journalists who are, we talked about it earlier when we were talking about politics. A lot of you highfalutin, educated people who run around thinking because y'all got a goddamn degree that makes you better than people. And yes, trust and believe, I went to college, I went to film school, but my degree is different than everybody else's degree. I didn't go and get a bachelor's degree in economics and all this other stuff, or political science and things of that nature. But when you have a passion for something, you build something around it. My passion is entertainment news and politics and a bunch of other things. And Cameron and them, they talk sports. So they speak at about sports in a way that fellow sports fans like. So when y'all sit up here and talk about, well, he think he's Stephen A. Smith. Oh, let's read Stephen A. Smith for a minute, because last I checked, Stephen A. Smith receding hairline, forehead. I mean, hairline start in the middle of his damn big ass forehead or big ass head. Starts, his hairline start in the middle. If you ever look, pay attention. I don't know how you walk around with still trying to hold on to the little bit of hair you got left in your hairline start. I'm trying to lean back so y'all can see, like back here. But here's the thing. Last I checked, Stephen A. Smith trying to infiltrate other spaces too. He don't just specifically talk about politics. Stephen A. Smith has been trying to infiltrate politics. I mean, no, I said politics, sports. He's not just a sportscaster. He's been out here running his mouth with talking political stuff. He was even brought on The View to talk about politics. He's not a political pundit. Why are you bringing him on there asking him about how we can change and shape America? Shouldn't you have had political people on there having that conversation? But you had Stephen A. Smith on there. That's why I be looking side-eyed at them dingbats over there at The View. But that's not up to them. That's the producers coming up with that mess. And then also there's been many times when people have dragged Stephen A. Smith because he want to jump in and talk about celebrity news and gossip. That's not your wheelhouse. So it's okay for you journalists to jump in on our shit, but it's not okay for us to jump in on y'all shit. I don't think so. It's not a one-sided situation. So I'm Team Cam on this. But that ain't where it ended, because they kept going. And that's why I was cackling. The last straw, and then, this is when Elliott Wilson seceded. He was like, okay, y'all got it. They put up this clip from The Pursuit of Happiness, which had me cackling. Hold on.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period. Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something.
And then how they gave Jaden Smith facial hair. That's the funny part to me. So, yeah. So, but then, okay, so then there was more. So, after, because I was like, where'd it go? Okay, so now after trolling him with the Pursuit of Happiness meme, Wilson called the truth and said, okay, y'all won. SMH, ha. He commented with a trophy emoji. And then Cam and Mace didn't back down. So they went in and said, hey, y'all, now he want to wave the white flag. Nah, at Elliott Wilson, it's over when we say it's over. They fired back, adding, we've been winning and already won. We don't need you telling us. Now you just want to repost our content, FOH. We need all our followers in his comment section ASAP because we ain't going for it. And see, I don't like that kind of, oh yeah, let's troll them on social media thing. It's like, yeah, say what you got to say and keep it moving. But I don't want to be like, okay, go over there and troll him. Like, I just don't see the point of that. But if that's what y'all want to do, then go ahead. This is why I hope he deactivated the comments so that way people can't go in there and go in on him on Instagram, because you can deactivate your, prevent people from commenting your stuff. So, then they said, it is what it is. Co-host Treasure Stat Baby Wilson also chimed in to speak on Wilson's critique, saying, I hate this discussion. Cam literally does his research, is a trusted voice for these athletes and musicians to talk to, and brings up other people with him. 90% of the industry won't even help others when they come up. It's always going to be someone else's turn unless you do something about it. So, boo, next topic. And you know what? I love that. And that's another thing too. The difference between me and a bunch of other people, I don't just be pulling shit out my ass to be giving y'all stuff, just to say stuff. A lot of times when I'm on this show and we talk about and we have conversations and stuff, yeah, I do research. I'm pulling out the information. I'm looking up things just so that way I can bring y'all the facts. And the fact that Cameron is not just out here just with a microphone in his hand saying a bunch of bullshit for how long his show is, like a lot of these podcasters are. And yeah, when they get into these spaces, there are a lot of YouTubers, podcasters who won't help out the next person, who can be very selfish because they worrying about that jealousy thing kicks in, or they feel like, oh, well, I helped you, so now you owe me or whatever. Excuse you? It's like, are you trying to help me because you want to be a mentor and help? Or is this a using type of situation where it's like, oh yeah, I helped that father over there, so it is what it is. So I don't like that side. So it's like, if you out here actually doing the research and the athletes and the musicians that come on your show, and you actually did your homework because you actually have a legitimate, and like you taking it seriously, then why are you hating on him? Well, there's other people you should be hating on. And he is like, yeah, in this business, it is very much like a little country club where it's like they only want to let certain people in. So yeah, at the end of the day, Ellie, you do sound like a straight up hater. And I'm not mad at Cam for dragging you to the hottest parts of hell. And as I said before, I just don't think that Cameron and other successful podcasters have ever run around claiming that they were journalists. I've never heard them say any of that. And y'all already know how I felt about Stephen A. Smith. How you supposed to be this verified and well-respected sports journalist, but you trying to infiltrate the podcast space by commenting on things you aren't really all that privy with. You talking politics, you talking celebrity news and gossip, and it's like, you are not Wendy Williams. This is not your passion. That is not your wheelhouse. You're just trying to find ways to keep yourself relevant, because when sports season drive after a certain time, what else can you run your mouth on? And who else is going to put a camera on you? So, to me, maybe what you journalists need to worry about is the fact that a lot of y'all careers is dying because because you have successful personalities in the podcast space who are actually delivering the factual information better than y'all are, because you are tied to corporate media who have y'all sit in a chair like mindless drones spewing corporate approved propaganda off a damn teleprompter. So, as I said, I don't feel no ways tired about what Cameron had to say in that situation. I said, look, you the one that decided to put your foot in your mouth and pop off and say all that shit on Corey and Rory and Maul's podcast, and you should not be surprised. And I tell y'all this many a times, you can't poke the bear and tell the bear how angry to get. And you wasn't expecting Cameron and Mace to come as hard as they did for you, and they did. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of what Elliott Wilson had to say where his old bitter ass decided to throw shade at us podcasters? Because apparently we trying to take their jobs. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel that way. It's like, it's not only that, it's like, it's the same thing with like when actors were coming at reality stars or whatever. Because they're taking my job. I spent years owning my craft. Well, it's not our fault that we don't need years of acting classes to learn how to deal with people, or how to channel emotions and feelings. That I gotta go to school to learn how to have emotions. I mean, I understand if the tools and stuff that you need to become an actor, you definitely need those. But it's just like, where's the personality behind, I can't say nothing unless it's in a script. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Sure, y'all are here talking horoscope stuff. You said, I have a sun, moon, Mercury, stars, and Jupiter in the 8th, ruled by Virgo and Aquarius as my chart ruler, with Uranus and Neptune in the 1 hour. It said 1H explains my old soul, psychic, and outside energy. I think I was an old soul too. I might be. A college degree becomes more and more unnecessary and useless in this day and age, with many of the top 1% of rich people. Absolutely. Like, didn't Mark Zuckerberg drop out of college when he started Facebook? So it's like, yeah, when you see a lot of these rich people running around, they don't have college degrees, or a lot of times they do have college degrees, but they were C students, or maybe less than that. Okay, so let's get into this Liam Payne story. So we got an update on one of the people who apparently said that he served Liam Payne booger sugar. But now he's been placed under arrest by the judge in Argentina. I was like, oh, he cute too, child. You better hope they don't drop the soap. So a judge has ordered Brian, and it's spelled Braian, Brian Nahuel Paez, remand in prison after charging him with supplying the singer with drugs a week ago. Laura Brunard gave Paez 24 hours to hand himself in so he could be sent to jail. However, the arrest didn't take place until today, which is Friday, January 3rd, after police went to his home in Ingeniero Budge on the outskirts of Buenos Aires. Mr. Paya's lawyer, Fernando Medeo, confirmed his client has been arrested. He didn't, however, give any more details about what prison he would be taken to or when. Now, earlier today, it emerged Mr. Medeo was claiming it was impossible the charges against his client would stick following Liam's third-floor fatal plunge at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel in Buenos Aires on October 16th. He also said that the 24-year-old was the victim of a witch hunt that has been parked in the authorities' desire of culprits. He claimed that the same issues often appeared in other headline cases which sparked national and international interest. He said they want to look for culprits at any price, violating constitutional rights and guarantees, informing a truth which turns out to false, as is the case here, accusing innocent people of crimes they haven't committed. Mr. Medeo went on to claim a number of recent media reports claiming that his client had refused to testify in front of a judge who has charged him with selling drugs to Liam were fake. He insisted we presented a very long statement in which we addressed all the issues and the false accusations against Brian, and we have explained everything from his point of view. Paez was one of 5 men who have been charged by a Buenos Aires judge last Friday after Liam's October 16 death at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel. Paez and 21-year-old Ezekiel David Pereira. These names is a tongue twister. Currently suspended from his job at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel, have been charged with supplying a former One Direction man with drugs in exchange for money. Judge Laura Bernard said in her ruling there was evidence pointing to both men selling the singer Booger Sugar on 2 separate occasions. They have both been warned they could face anywhere between 4 to 15 years if they are convicted as charged after being indicted, were told to report to court so they could be remanded in prison. The other 3 suspects are Liam's friend Roger Norris, chief hotel receptionist Esteban Grassi, and hotel head of security Gilda Martin. They have been charged with manslaughter, but have been allowed to remain free while their prosecution continues. They are facing between 1 to 5 years of prison if convicted as charged, although they have been told they could be eligible for suspended jail sentences. Now, Judge Laura Bernard, pointed the finger at the hotel chiefs over their decision to move Liam from the lobby to his 3rd floor room where he couldn't stand on his feet because of his prior drink and drug binge. Now, here's the thing. When they were talking about this, now, I'm just like, wait a minute. See, this is what I don't understand, because Liam is a grown man, right? And I feel like you should be responsible for your actions. That if I'm a drug addict and I want to get drugs, so that means the person that's supplying them with the drugs will automatically be thrown in jail because the person who was doing the drugging is irresponsible and they ended up dead. Like, I don't understand the point of that. Now, what I do get is, the fact of the matter is, if he was erratic and under the influence, what you should have did was call someone from medical to take him down to the hospital for observation. I'll even use an example. We had someone had a drug episode when I was working the Fish concert, and we had to call medical. At one point, they had to try to restrain him because he kept like screaming and jumping out of the chair and all this other stuff. But then they ended up restraining him. They ended up getting him out, and they got him the medical stuff that he needed. They didn't have him continue to go back or try to hold him into a room or carry him or do some crazy stuff where he could put himself further in danger. That is what should have happened. They should have taken him instead of taking it upon themselves. Now, that's where I've been like, okay, now I can see the loophole and wanting to be like, or not the loophole, but the angle of, okay, I'm going to lock your behind up because you decided to take him back to his room and carry him by his arms and legs and leave him in there unattended, knowing damn well he has access to a freaking balcony. And when you're on the influence of drugs, you ain't thinking straight. So you can put yourself in harm's way and damage yourself or hurt yourself or worse. So that's what they should have did from the beginning. They didn't do that. Instead, they carried him to the room. So then I would have been like, okay, so there's some type of responsibility there. But supplying somebody with drugs, when it doesn't matter if it was them, he would have found somebody else to give it to him. But then again, if you're working in a hotel, there should be no reason why you also moonlighting as someone who can give someone access to drugs or whatever the case is. So it's like, no, you need to be if you person head of security or concierge, you should be concierging if you're the concierge, and if the security, you should be securing the premises. You should be out there also moonlighting as Walter White. Now, Argentinian prosecutors referred to Liam's friend Roger Norris in a lengthy statement they released earlier that week as victim representative, although they identified him only by his initials RLN. Now, Judge Bernard, in her indictment ruling, accused the businessman, currently banned from leaving Argentina because of the charges against him, of failing in his duty of care, assistance, and help toward the singer and abandoning him to his fate, knowing he couldn't fend for himself, aware he suffered multiple addictions to alcohol and booger sugar, and fully conscious of the state of intoxication, vulnerability, and defenseless he was in. And that was the thing too. Like when we talk about the incident that happened at the Garden, the guy who was having an episode, his friend his friend stayed with him. We're trying to calm him down. We're trying to hold him while they were trying to restrain him and get him the medical help that he needed. So I do agree with that. If you are a friend that is aware that, okay, your friend may have taken something, or your friend has issues and has addiction problems or whatever, and you've been hanging out with him, then yeah, in so many ways that is a responsibility. You shouldn't have just abandoned him in his time of need. Or if he's having an episode, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go home. He'll sleep it off. It's like, no, because you don't know what he took. And just because the drugs that he's accustomed to in his home base in the United States, that he's able to work on that, don't necessarily mean the drugs is going to be the same when you go to Argentina, or you go to Cuba, or you go to Japan, or you go to any other space outside of what the drugs you're accustomed to. So I totally understand why the friend is being held. So yeah, that's the latest on this about child. First of all, the Daily Mail, it was the Mirror. They did a whole freaking, it felt like it was a 5-minute citation. I was like, this thing is long. So that's the latest. They're pull all these people in. They go into jail, and that's that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to the latest on Liam and how the person that's the waiter that sold him the booger sugar has been arrested? So all the people that seem like that was working at this hotel are being held responsible. And it's like, you know what? In that case, I understand that, but I don't understand the whole situation. Like when it was like, even with and I'm glad that we got some justice for Michael K. Williams, but it's like the guy that sold him the heroin that had the fentanyl in it, he was arrested. And it's sort of like, but if you're a junkie going to your dealer, how is the dealer responsible when they're basically they're basically the supplier? And I guess it's probably because it wasn't pure heroin. These days, drugs ain't as pure as they used to. That's why I don't do drugs anymore. And I was never doing heavier stuff like that. But this is why I don't do like any kind of drugs, because the way y'all lace and put things in things these days, none of it is pure. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I'm thinking I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm gonna cut out the Christina and Britney story, because I was sitting there like, I thought about doing it. I don't care enough. So I'm gonna cut those. We're gonna do the Tom Holland. We're gonna do the Heidi Klum. We're gonna do the Drag Race stuff and Laverne, and we're gonna get out of here because child, Drag Race is about to come on in 30 minutes on the East Coast. But then again, I have Philo, so I'm gonna let it record, and then I'm gonna watch it later, even though I already saw the episode. And I told you I went to the premiere. What was it 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago? So let me see what the people are commenting on. Child, y'all still up in here talking about all this rising and Neptune and Uranus and the Pluto and all that stuff. Oh, you said I agree. Especially on this Liam story, it's getting messy and sad. Mm-hmm. Okay, so where did we say we was going? Yeah, I was being shady. And you said, I don't do drugs anymore because an astrologer told me I shouldn't. I did become much happier after I got sober. Well, yeah, I feel like a lot of times you don't need drugs and all the other stuff to make you happy or to bring out a side of you that, a lot of people feel like they need like liquid courage or they need drugs in order to be happy or to show that they have a fun side. It's like, go out there, have a good time, and don't worry about what other people think. I had a friend that was hanging out that went to industry and was shirtless. He's cute, dancing his behind off, and mentioned that his night was ruined because there was some queens that was over in the corner. He said he asked one of them because I guess he knew the DJ, but he went over and asked him, it was like if he could get a water or whatever. They were like, no, and he was like, fine. And then he noticed that they was over there laughing at him, whatever. So you're always gonna have these F words that's gonna be bullies and all this other stuff, and you got to be out here. You got to have your fun or whatever. It's like you don't need all the drugs or whatever. Maybe they was on it, but have your fun. Don't worry about what other people think. And you don't need liquid courage or drugs or whatever to have a good time. Sometimes I'll be envying some of them people that just like they just be high off life. Look, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me, according to Marilyn Manson. Okay, so let's get into this Tom Holland story. So apparently he is spilling some tea on why he refused to walk red carpets with Zendaya. And his answer, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to like him. I mean, I like him and Zendaya together, but I'm really starting to like them more and more the more that they talk. And then they showed his recent pictures in Men's Health. I was like, okay, you gotta work with them abs. Somebody thought that it was AI. And I was like, child, not everything is fake. But no, it was real pictures. And I'm going to show you in a second. So Tom Holland recently told Men's Health that he chooses not to walk the red carpets alongside his girlfriend Zendaya at her movie premieres because he says it's not his moment. It's her moment. And if we go together, it's about us. So the Spider-Man actor, who's 28, who appears in the January-February 2025 cover of Men's Health, revealed in a new interview with the publication that while he attends Zendaya's premieres, he doesn't typically walk the red carpet with her for a reason. Say, because it's not my moment, it's her moment, and if we go together, it's about us. And they've been together for a while, but they actually confirmed their relationship in 2021. So they've been together for almost 4 years. Or maybe they have been together for more than 4 years. They just didn't confirm it until 2021. So while Zendaya, who's 28, and Holland have been romantically linked since 2021, their red carpet appearances together have been limited over the years since they first teamed up together for 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming. Their last together being at the premiere of 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home in LA. Elsewhere during his latest interview, during which he discussed his brand of non-alcoholic beers, Vero, Holland also detailed a moment he and Zendaya were in Cornwall, England with his family when a younger cousin asked him to do a flip. As he explains, Zendaya also asked him if he could still do it. So I went outside and I was getting ready and I was thinking, I could do this. I could totally do this. I've done this 1,000 times. And Z was there and she was like, are you sure you can still do this? I actually did land it, but I pulled every muscle in my stomach because when you do a backflip, it's all about extending up as much as you can and then tucking. For weeks, I could not laugh because my stomach was so sore. Now, Holland and Zendaya last starred on the big screen together in No Way Home. Well, they're about to star again in another movie. That would be the upcoming Christopher Nolan film, which is based off of Homer's The Odyssey. They said with Holland previously confirming in October that his next stint as Peter Parker will start filming in summer of 2025. The next Spider-Man movie is expected to hit theaters in July of 2026. But regarding that, I don't necessarily know if it's actually going to start filming in this summer because I could have sworn that Christopher Nolan is supposed to start shooting his Odyssey movie this year. Don't know when that's going to kick off. Also, I've been hearing stories that the script is still being worked on for the upcoming Spider-Man movie. And Tom Holland is kind of sort of rumored to be budding. I think it was from Comic Book Movie actually said this. Is butting heads with Kevin Feige in regards of where they want the direction of where they want to go with Spider-Man in the upcoming movie. Because remember the last one, his best friend and his girlfriend, he had their memories erased, and he's supposed to be a loner and going off on his own journey. So it's like, where do we go from there? And what story are you going to take on? And who's going to be the new villain? So there's a lot of things that's supposed to be going on. I don't know if they're going to meet their deadline. This is why I also don't like the fact that, and this is a thing that they need to stop doing over there at MCU. Stop announcing freaking dates that you're going to start filming. And stop announcing release dates for when you're going to release your movie in a theater. Stop doing that. Because a lot of times, y'all don't follow through with the thing, and it keeps getting delayed. You don't have control over when things are going to happen. So when y'all are ready to go shoot, then shoot. When the script is ready, then set a date. So, It's also, as I said, he and Zendaya have been reportedly tapped to star in Christopher Nolan's forthcoming movie, an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey, set for release in 2026, also featuring performances from Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon per multiple outlets. Saying, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know anything about it. This is what he said of the project on a recent episode of the Dish podcast. I'm super excited. Everything is very, very hush hush. I met with him. It was awesome. He's kind of loosely pitched what it was, and I'm sure when he's ready, he'll announce what it is. And that's the thing with Christopher Nolan. Y'all already know, like, Christopher Nolan, what he gives in regards of, like, the quality work and the type of films that he does. So, yeah, he's always shrouding his stuff in secrecy. He's always very hush-hush with his projects. And 9 times out of 10, like, Christopher Nolan's movies never flop at the box office. Except I think The Prestige did. But that was like a million years ago. Or maybe his movies weren't like these big blockbusters that they are today. So I was like, ooh, let's leave it here. Okay, so now when I want to get to the other picture, you want to play in my face. Let's try it one more again. Yeah, there goes the ab picture. Come on, stomach. So, what else? Oh, then he also hinted at the fact that what it was like working with Zendaya while speaking with co-host Nick Grimshaw. He says, Studios love it. One hotel room, separate drivers. We're not crazy. It's work, right? Speaking of what it's like to have her by his side, he also said, "Oh God, yeah, it's a saving grace, best thing that's ever happened to me." He also said that his bond with Zendaya is in the spirit of being able to relate with one another on something that is very, very unique. And it's weird how their relationship works because she's a Virgo and he's a Gemini. So I'm like, oh, but yeah, but that kind of does work because we are kind of both very emotional, very crazy, very direct. So a Virgo and a Gemini hooking up, I'm not surprised with that. He also said it's about being a little more organized, knowing where you want to go. And there are restaurants that have little back rooms and stuff where you can have a more private night. But at the end of the day, it's no hardship when people are recognizing you because they enjoy your work. It's also a pretty wonderful thing. I thought that also in this article they would have mentioned him retiring, because I did see that he was talking about that he's probably going to walk away from Hollywood once, I think he said once he starts having kids. So we discussed how he will enjoy being a father and golfing when this happens as he steps away from the entertainment industry. Holland clarifies that his current venture of promoting Biro, his new line of non-alcoholic beers, is a passion project and has nothing to do with him leaving Hollywood. He also emphasizes that he's still happy to be playing Spider-Man. And his comment was, I was like, where's the comment? I said that his year-long acting break after starting in The Crowded Room, Holland is conscious of doing what is best for his mental health. He says while this will be longer than his year-long break from The Crowded Room, it may not be a permanent retirement as he could decide to return to acting when his children are older. And I feel like that's happened a lot. Like Josh Hartnett at one point walked away from acting because he wanted to be a father to his kids. There been, what was it? Cameron Diaz walked away from acting at one point so that way she could be a wife to her husband, who was part of Good Charlotte, and to raise her family. So actors do it all the time. Julia Roberts at one point walked away from Hollywood so she could be a mother and a wife, so she could raise her children. So people do it all the time. And at this day and age, you can have you can take a break from having a career. And look, all that money that he has accumulated from all that money he made from the Spider-Man movies, I'm sure he is not hurting financially. So he's good. He don't need to, and I think at one point, even Zendaya may want to walk away from the industry as a whole. I think she's even talking about trying to take a break. So, the industry is always changing. It's always evolving. They're always going to have some people coming in and out. So why not? So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this in regards to Tom Holland retiring? I do think he's a good actor. I mean, it's been hard for him lately to try to find passion projects that go beyond him playing Spider-Man. It has been hard to get him outside of the Spider-Man world for his films to be successful, but I would think that with him working on this Christopher Nolan project, that might be a step in the right direction. And Zendaya's out here doing her own thing and starring and playing all these different characters from Shawnee and the Doom universe, where she talked about she got heat stroke. There was a recent interview. She said she got heat stroke on the set of making that movie, but they was out in the damn desert. So I'm not surprised. And, you know, with her and then doing Euphoria and doing Challengers and all these different roles that she takes on. So they're like Hollywood's it power couple. And I like them. So let me know what you guys think of this story in regards to Tom Holland, somebody he's retiring, in the comments down below. You said the same thing. You said they're a power couple, the true definition of soulmates. I can't even imagine them breaking up. Yeah, it's like that's like with the. Do you think they were in the same vein of like a Travis Kelce and a Taylor Swift? Like you can't see them breaking up. But it's like, yeah, I definitely see like Tom Holland and Zendaya. It definitely feels like I can't see them departing. They say he's much better for her than that one guy that was on grownish. Oh, she was dating. That's what she was dating. He also looks so luscious, honey. Yes, that ab picture. He's short, but I'm shorter. Well, you know he's short in real life. And look, he's not feeling no kind of insecurity about it, because you know how Tom Cruise had to make sure that the women that he was in a relationship with had to wear flats, and he would put lifts in his shoes because he was feeling insecure that he's short. He's 5'7". But Tom Holland don't feel no ways about it. I also read Thomas wanting another script. There's a lot of anti-conservative politics in it. He's saying you can't read the room. People want to escape, not to be told you're evil. Plus, I'm British. Well, yeah, the UK politics is way different than what's going on over in America. And on top of that, it's like, yeah, we don't want any kind of look. If you want to do something like social political type stuff, which is what I understand, like if you go into like Captain America and that sort of thing, because it's about, you know, they take more of like the spy, like the old school spy term things of like what's going on and using politics in that way, I can understand it. But if you're trying to make it political with Spider-Man, I mean, I don't know if you want to put that in there, but I understand like it takes place in New York. So if you want to put New York type of stuff in there, then I can understand it. But it's like, yeah, there's certain movies I just want to escape to. I don't want to be preached to. Like, I know if I go see a movie like Civil War, I know what I'm getting, which I believe is actually on what is that? Is that on I think it's on HBO Max. But anyway, so I think because I think it popped on one of the streaming services today. So if I'm watching Civil War, I know what I'm getting when I watch that movie. A lot of times if I'm watching certain superhero stuff, if it's warranted to get political, I understand you might want to do that. But what's happening in America isn't really affecting the world as you're being told. As Tom said, he lost crazy amounts of weight to do the crowded room in Cherry, but it's just not worth it anymore. Probably because the award campaign that's why it's sad that these celebrities put their bodies through so much just to play a part. And then you always hear afterwards the health issues they end up having when it's like you gain the weight, you lose the weight. Because I think Christian Bale was talking about how, you know, he put his body through it for playing certain parts. Tom Hanks, so many actors have talked about over the years. I don't even feel like you need to do that anymore. I was just about to remind you that Drag Race starts soon. Because I gotta go watch that. It's like you just reminding Euphoria is supposed to start filming this month. We'll see how that exactly. We'll see how that happens. Okay, so now let's give a huge congratulations to Heidi Klum, who is coming back to Project Runway after 8 years. So when I heard that today, I was so excited because no shade, I have not watched Project Runway since she left. And then I remember when she had the show, they were trying to do their own version with her and Tim Gunn called Making the Cut that did 2 seasons on Prime Video, but it wasn't good. I mean, I like the fact they threw a lot of money behind the show, but it just didn't have that same energy that I got from Project Runway. So people had the news, you know, whenever it comes to anything to do with Bravo and all that type of stuff, or Bravo related, people would get an exclusive. So people has learned that Heidi Klum is returning to Project Runway after stepping away from the hit franchise in 2018. Now, Klum was 51, originally hosted the show from 2004 to 2017. The season 16 finale, airing November 2017, was her last and won the 2013 Emmy Award for her role, which she shared with her co-host and close friend Tim Gunn. She was nominated an impressive 9 times during her tenure with Project Runway, with the Project Runway, with the reality competition program, earning dozens of nominations overall. Project Runway, which originally launched on Bravo before moving to Lifetime and then back to Bravo, will now see its home on Freeform, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Well, it's not on Bravo no more? Okay. Well, it looked like they lost the rights again, but I do have Freeform. But I got Disney Plus and Hulu, so I just watch it there. From its conception in 2004 with season 1, it has welcomed a number of talented designers onto the show, and Klum was there for many of them, and to say her signature farewell of Auf Wiedersehen to all of those who were cut each week. And that's what I missed, because it was like, one day you're in and the next you're out, and then she would always say Auf Wiedersehen. So I was like, she had her own coin terms, and her being German. I love the fact that it was like, that was her version of, before there was a sachet away, there was Auf Wiedersehen. I had to use a Drag Race reference. So, the show has had all-star seasons, bringing designers back from previous seasons to give them a second shot at winning, as well as Project Runway Junior. I actually liked the Junior version. I was like, can y'all bring that back? I even said they should do a Drag Race Junior, but I already know how people feel bad enough. Y'all don't even like regular drag queens. Could y'all imagine like having drag kids doing a competition? That'd be the one place they could do it, because they can't get up in the bars. But then they, over the years, they crowned champions of all ages and backgrounds. Well-known past contestants include Gunnar Deathridge, who was designed for Chaperone, Irina Shabayeva, who most notably, of course, Kristen Siriano, who found much success as a top fashion designer since winning the 4th season of the show. And one of the things about Kristen Siriano, and no shade, I feel like he's the one that came out most successful out of all of them, because he's everywhere. I told you I saw him at the Drag Race premiere on the blue carpet, because the carpet was blue, it wasn't even red. So he was there, and at one point, Christian was a mentor. He was like the Tim Gunn over the years, when he came on the show, when Tim wasn't there. And then I think last season, because they had Carly Kloss on there, I didn't particularly like her when she was on there. That's Ivanka Trump's sister-in-law. So, because she's married to Jared Kushner, she's married to Jared Kushner, brother. Carly Kloss is. So, then when she stepped down from last season, Kristen Siriano pulled double duty. So I didn't really watch Project Runway last season when it was on Bravo. But with Heidi Klum coming back, I'm actually liking the fact that she is coming back to the show. But I am wondering, why is she coming back to the show? So they said, after announcing their exit, as in her and Tim Gunn, the two told people that they likened Project Runway to their baby. And after 16 years, the baby was all grown up. So it was time for them to move on to something else. Saying, we love our baby, we wish our baby good luck, but we're ready to pop out a new one. This is what she said at the Creative Artists Emmy Awards, and this was making the cut. But I wonder why they left the show, because I'm sitting there like, why would you leave one fashion show to create a whole new fashion show on another network, unless you were trying to get some things done over there at the network at the time. I don't know what I think it was at Lifetime at the time. And Lifetime wasn't willing to bend the knee to whatever it is that you wanted. And you were just like, well, okay, well, since y'all not going to show us the respect that we should be getting, because we're the reason why people are watching the show, no shade to the designers. But it was like, I loved watching the fashion designers, make their dreams come true. But I also love the dynamic between her as well as Tim Gunn. But I also wonder, why is Tim Gunn coming back? Because I feel like they were like the dynamic duo of that show. So yeah, they said when Klum and Gunn left Project Runway to lead their own fashion competition, making the cut on Amazon Prime Video, Carly Kloss took over hosting duties for the next 2 seasons, with Siriano serving as mentor, as I told y'all. So for season 19 and 20, Siriano took over for Kloss, pulling double duty as host and mentor. So I feel like, even though we love Kristen Siriano's fashions, and he was highly entertaining during season 4 of Project Runway, maybe he just wasn't given what needed to be given as far as like a host and a mentor. I don't know. I didn't really watch. As much as I like him, I didn't really watch when he was on. I also don't remember like Carly Kloss when she was hosting. So to me, no shame, but there's just some people just have that thing where it's just like, you are the show. When y'all try to bring in new hosts, it just doesn't feel the same. So it's like, I can't imagine Although it's got to be at some point where he's going to want to step down. I can imagine RuPaul's Drag Race without RuPaul on it. Michelle Visage is trying to do her thing over there with Down Under. She was cute or whatever, but if he was to step down tomorrow and they bring somebody else in, they would have to figure out who that is that would be able to successfully host the show. Maybe it'd be a Trixie Mattel or somebody, I don't know. But yeah, when we think of Project Runway, I see it synonymous with Heidi Klum. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding Miss Heidi Klum coming back to Project Runway after 8 years away? I'm actually excited for this. It doesn't say when the new season is going to air, but I'm definitely excited to see her coming back. And I'm guessing they're going to be filming in New York, and we don't even know if Tim Gunn is coming back. But I hope he is, because the weird thing is, I was literally thinking about Tim Gunn the other day. I'm like, what's he been up to? I haven't seen him in a month and something. Does he still work at the Parsons School of Design? Because wasn't he teaching there at one point? So it's like, I've been kind of missing them. And it's funny because it's like when you start thinking things and things start to happen. And look what happened. This story popped up today and here we are talking about it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So you said, so that means her Amazon show ended and it's Tim Gunn. Yeah, that's what I was like, because we hadn't heard about making the cut for a while. So I assume they canceled it. No, but reality competition does not seem to work over there on Prime Video. Sidebar, whatever happened to that Next in Fashion show with Tan France? And because I like the cutie that won last season. The last season they did. And then they had brought in Gigi Hadid as the co-host. So I kind of like that show too. I don't think that show's coming back. They be trying so hard to do so many different fashion shows, but they never last. But I was like, look, Project Room is the OG of it all. So bring it back. Can you imagine if they brought back America's Next Top Model? I don't think they would ever do it. Because with the way y'all be throwing shade at them old episodes, and then you got the people that was on that show still throwing shade at the old episodes and speaking out about they past on the show, I can't see them bringing that back. Do you think Carly Claus stepped down after being told her advice was irrelevant due to being part of the Trump family? That's a good question. Because Carly looked offended that her marriage was criticized and that she was shocked. Pop culture Jeopardy is hella fun, and I love Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? How am I just not hearing about Pop Culture Jeopardy? I want to start watching that. What streaming service is that on? Because, well, here's the thing. I used to watch old Jeopardy. Like my mother would tell you, she was like, me and my grandfather, how we would sit up in there and we would know the answers to some of the stuff. But now I watch Jeopardy, I be feeling like, goddamn, when did I get so damn dumb? Like, I don't understand nothing up there. But Pop Culture Jeopardy, trust and believe, I probably win the hell out of that show. But anyway, let's get into some Drag Race news because it's coming on in like 8 minutes. But like I told you, I'm already recording it because I have Philo. That's the only way I can watch MTV. And I'm like, I'll watch it later so I can fast forward through the commercials, even though technically I already saw the episode, but most of it, because I went to the premiere a couple of weeks ago. So Lexi Lowe, who is one of the queens that is appearing on this season 17, that's coming up in a couple of minutes on the East Coast, is spilling tea regarding how much she paid or what she had to do to pay for her outfits. So she did an interview with Ricky Cornish. And y'all already know, like, when it comes to doing Drag Race, well, he said drag is expensive. No, Drag Race is expensive because there have been many queens who've gone on and done drag and have found ways to be creative and put an outfit together. It's a huge requirement when you're doing a TV show regarding that. And I was trying to look for a picture of Lexi. I couldn't find one. But then I remembered I took a picture of her when I was on the blue carpet. So yeah, there's my photo of Miss Lexi. So it says, as RuPaul's Drag Race continues to gain popularity, the queens have opened up about how much they've spent when preparing for the runways and various challenges on the reality competition show. When it comes to the new season of Drag Race, Lexi Love reveals that she had to take out loans to make her dream a reality, saying, these runways are going to gag you, baby. I took a second mortgage out of my house to gag you on those runways. I'm still fighting with my husband for that. It is not Plastic Tiara on All Stars, but it's gag worthy. This is what she said on Pride. Well, there's always been rumors regarding how much Plastique Tiara allegedly paid to go on Drag Race. Nobody really knows the number, but we've all, a lot of people have speculated. So far, Love is living up to her promise by already serving a fierce look that came together super last minute. It takes a lot of nerve to only wear body paint for a water-themed promo. Saying it's unreal. I still can't believe it happened. My couture got stuck in customs, and this was a happy mistake. It's the happiest mistake of my life. Most of my life has been filled with those, so I know how to embrace those. So, I'm trying to remember if she did serve looks and stuff on her show. Well, first of all, as much as I love Drag Race, sometimes I worry because I feel like y'all talk about y'all taking out second mortgages, that y'all spend so much money on the show and all this other stuff. And then it's like, but what if you end up as the pork chop of the season? Or what if you only you don't make it to the finale where you get to be in the top 4 or the top 3 or whatever the case is, and then you spend all this money and you have nothing to show for it. The only way that you can get those looks out, as many queens have done later on, is during that weekly runway. Category is, whatever, furs and stuff. And then you show that look on your Instagram. So I got to go to your Instagram to see what the outfit was if you would have made it past what you're packing. Or you didn't have the opportunity to do what you're packing, because what you're packing only pops up when you've been eliminated and you sit down with Michelle. So it's like you can't even show off your looks. You can only show it on social media. And so it's just like all that money wasted. But I also thought that they said, because I remember there was something that was I think this was a conversation that was brought up the other day, and Willem pretty much admitted, and I remember hearing this story. They said that then they get a stipend. That you get a stipend for like how much money you get regarding, okay, they give you a certain amount of money and you can use this money towards the designers conjuring up certain looks. Now, if you want to go beyond that stipend budget and you want to add a little extra something because you want to be able to really gag everybody with your runways, then that's on you. But for the most part, you're supposed to get a stipend. So I do wonder now, like, do they still get the stipends, or was that only for All Stars? Because I remember hearing like, yeah, they were doing that with All Stars, that they would give them a stipend. Because the girls was like, number one, we didn't want the last season. Number one, we didn't want to be no eliminations, which is why they got rid of it, and because that's the only way you're gonna get us to do All Stars. And number two, we need a stipend for the wardrobe, because us having to damn near go bankrupt the first time, just so we can give y'all looks the second time, something's got to give. So I do wonder, does the stipend situation only apply to All-Stars girls, or is it for All-Stars girls as well as regular season Drag Race girls? This is a question that I'm like, I need you Drag Race queens to jump up in the conversation and spill the tea, because inquiring minds want to know. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding Lexi Love saying that she had to take out a second mortgage to pay for her season 17 outfits? It's like, I get it, because, when we watch TV, we want to be whisked off into like this world of whimsy and all this other stuff. And unfortunately, yeah, to me, it's just like, it's sad that the only way that we can get this world of whimsy is that y'all have to damn near go bankrupt or go broke, pretty much, in order to give us cute fashions and cute looks. When it shouldn't even be like that. It should just be like a regular show where people get creative and come up with something. But this is what happens when you want to get into the world of TV. You gotta give you gotta sell the fantasy. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was also thinking I was going to do the all 16 seasons of Drag Race ranked. We'll save that for next week, because that's going to be a long one. Because like I said, I just want to get quickly to the point on some of these topics. So let's get into we got 2 more topics. And let's give a shout out to Laverne Cox, who announced that she is leaving doing the E's red carpet because, hold on. Oh yeah, and I forgot also, RuPaul came out with a new album today. I knew she would. So basically, Laverne Cox is bidding adieu to E's red carpet coverage. So now, with an incredible amount of gratitude, I've decided not to return as host of #Live from E's red carpet coverage. This is what she said in her recent post. I think it was yesterday that she made this announcement, but I have the official statement. Let's pull it up. So yeah, she said, with an incredible amount of gratitude, I've decided not to return as host of hashtag Live from E's red carpet coverage. I'm so incredibly proud of the work we did over my 3-year tenure. I was like, damn, that was 3 years. That went by so fast. Why do I think she just started doing the red carpets last year? She said, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to everyone at NBC Universal, E! Entertainment, and Den of Thieves TV for your incredible support. These moments are a reminder to me of what an incredible privilege it has been to talk to some of the world's greatest artists about their work, navigating the pressures of success, etc. I'm so excited to keep growing, evolving, and exploring great opportunities as an actress, artist, host, and speaker. I hope you'll all continue to go with me on my evolving journey. Tune into my new comedy series, Clean Slate, premiering on Amazon Prime February 6th. So Miss Mama's got a gig. That's why she's leaving. She wants to focus back on her acting instead of just being a personality. So that's one of the reasons why she's stepping down from doing her red carpet duties. I'm like, you can't do both. Now, along with her heartfelt words, Cox posted a reel featuring some of her favorite interview moments from the last 3 years. The reel featured brief clips of her red carpet chats with stars like Andrew Garfield, Tracy Ellis Ross, Anne Hathaway, Cynthia Erivo, Steve Martin, and Dula Peep. Now, Cox's latest hosting gig with E! Live for the red carpet was the 2024 Emmys, which took place on September 15th in LA. Along with being a red carpet staple, Cox also is a decorated actress and producer. So, I like Laverne. I'm glad she's jumping in and doing other things. There's another interview she did. I said, who this queen on the left? I don't know her. Only one I know that be looking like that is Miss Laura Roach. But I like Laverne. I liked her sense of, her personality and everything that she brought to the red carpet. And it was good to see some trans representation in like a A-list space. But for her she's challenging herself and she wants to spread her wings and she wants to do other things. She wants to get back into the acting. She wants to produce projects, and she might have to do this now more than ever, especially with the current administration. Well, the administration about to run into in like 2 weeks, give or take, when January 20th come around. So I'm definitely curious to see what Laverne Cox is going to bring to the in the next chapter of her career. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story of Laverne Cox saying that she's leaving the E! Red carpet coverage after 3 years and she's ready to do bigger and better things? She has a new series that's coming on Amazon Prime in February, and I'm sure she's got other things coming down the pipeline. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said they should do a fashion type streaming service. Both are on Prime Video. Colin Jost is fun. Are you saying they should do a fashion type streaming service? You mean like where they could show like like the Art Heart stuff and like Fashion Week, and not just Fashion Week in New York. First of all, we had a fashion network on cable. I used to watch it. So they can have like New York Fashion Week, and then you go to Paris Fashion Week, and Berlin Fashion Week, and South Africa Fashion Week. So you saw all the different fashion weeks from around the world, and you get to watch all of that on there. But these days, I don't know. Would there be enough people that would be interested in a fashion type streaming service? Or maybe you could create it as a hub within the streaming service. I think people are willing to give their all to show the judges their creativity. It's unfortunate that some of them get the chops so early with such great looks. You said it's probably on the NDA. Oh, it's probably on the NDA about stipends. Well, but then again, you have people that be out here spilling tea about the stipend situation, which would be like Willem spills it because she's not tied with the whole drag race situation. So, but I remember people informing a friend of mine about some of the stuff that was going on within drag race with the stipend and all this stuff, and he told me. Okay, so let's get to our final topic, and let's give a huge shout out to Vanessa Williams, whose mother passed away, Helen, but I knew her as Gaga because that was the name that they always called her. I remember her always referring to her mother as Gaga, and that's what the grandkids and everybody called her as well. So Vanessa Williams' mother passed away at the age of 85. So I want to give my condolences to her on that. And they said what had happened was the music teacher peacefully passed away the morning of December 28th in London, her family said in an obituary obtained by People on Thursday, January 2nd. Helen traveled overseas for the opening night of The Devil Wears Prada in the West End, where Vanessa, who's 61, plays fashion editor Miranda Priestley. The trip was arranged to celebrate her 85th birthday party, surrounded by 150 of her family and friends. This is according to the obituary. During her visit, she suffered a major decline in health, which ended her life. Her cause of death was a complication of acute liver failure, per the obituary. What do you think the liver failure, would that come from like being on a plane? I want to, because sometimes, they always say like, if you're on a plane, it causes blood clots and stuff with certain people. Because didn't Heavy D, wasn't he on a plane going somewhere and then he passed away like up in the air because his blood clotted or something or another? So there's always a lot of health issues when it comes to people of color, when they flying and all kinds of stuff. So they said, work the best you can and don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do something ever. Make up your mind, prepare yourself, study hard, and be very, very confident, was the message she would tell her students. Because, Helen was a music teacher. Helen was born on December 8, 1939 in Buffalo, New York, and spent over 40 years in the Ossining and Manhattanville school districts. She was also a professor at Manhattanville College. She retired in 1996. While working, she also taught private piano lessons to Westchester County students. Helen was an accomplished pianist who performed at music recitals and community and church events, in addition to working as concert coordinator and choral director before and after her retirement. Her work reached outside of, I should also point out that her work also reached outside of music. And it also said in 2012, Helen co-wrote the New York Times bestselling memoir, You Have No Idea, A Famous Daughter, Her No-Nonsense Mother, and How they survive pageants. Hollywood, Love, Loss, and Each Other, with the poetess, actress, and Irene Sertel. That's a long title for a book. You Have No Idea, A Famous Daughter, Her No-Nonsense Mother, and How They Survive Pageants, Hollywood, Love, Loss, and Each Other. I'm like, that is the longest title I've ever read. Now, per the obituary, the book illuminates her patented and revered character traits: a commanding presence, pint-sized authority, imposing stare, acerbic wit, no-nonsense talk, undying fidelity, and support for her children and grandchildren. Helen became the youngest Black student at the State University of New York at Fredonia when she was 16. Years later, Vanessa would make her own history as the first Black woman to be crowned Miss America in 1984. Helen also established the Helen Tench Williams Scholarship at SUNY in 2017 and received the Jesse Hillman Award for Excellence in Education in 2010. She also worked with inmates at the Bedford Women's Correctional Facility. Now, Helen is survived by her brother Frederick Tench, her children Vanessa and Chris Williams, 4 grandchildren from her daughter, and several nieces, nephews, and cousins. So there you have it in regards to that. A shout out to Helen, and my condolences to Vanessa, who I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you just started doing The Devil Wears Prada. Your mother came out to see you one last time in your performance, not knowing that was going to be her last time ever seeing you. They said she was traveling to go out there. So I'm wondering if she actually made it to the performance. And then the opening night, this happens. So, that's sad. My condolences to you, Vanessa, and the entire Williams family. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding Vanessa Williams' mother passing away? Around the time she was scheduled to do opening night of her show, The Devil Wears Prada, at the West End, where she's going to make her debut as Miranda Priestley. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Now, my final thoughts is I'm ready to go, Chad. I had to cut down this episode because we had a lot of stuff to chat about. But nevertheless, I'll be back on next week. Have a great weekend. Drag Race is on. I got to go watch that. But yeah, I love you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you can, please hit that like button, that subscribe button. Also, smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Love you all for watching. Thank you for those who were chatting in the comments with me. And yeah, until next time, which will be next week. Ciao, darlings.